Welcome back to another episode of Hashing It Out with Javi. This is episode 18. This is the homie episode. I have it with two of my friends I've known since high school, my friend Eddie and my friend Jaime. I'll let them say their own last names because, it's the internet, bro.
Viva los Doyers.
Viva los Doyers. And Eddie is, Eddie, what's your tag on Instagram?
19 kilo.
19
Eddie 19 kilo.
Eddie 19 kilo. You're going to have to tell me what that means or what that's for. I know 19 kilos is probably K something, right?
No, not at all. In the military, you're assigned a job, and it has and that is that number and letter sequence is attached to it. So like an infantryman would be 11 Bravo.
Right.
Mine was 19 kilos. So that's how they do it.
I got you. We'll have to talk about that more later. But anyways, man.
Yeah. I thought it was like
that's
gangster.
Yeah, I thought he was being a troller or
shit.
something.
Yeah, like drug dealer shit.
So you guys are always in the comments, and a lot of the followers that follow on Instagram, I hate to call them followers, people that I interact with on Instagram. I hate that where people say I got followers. Sounds so stupid.
I got friends.
I got people online that I talk to that are
12,000
really cool.
friends.
Almost 13. Hey, we're getting close.
Yeah, well, who's counting, right?
Who's counting? Nah, just kidding. But dude, I have some amazing people that do interact every day. And a lot of them know you too because you guys are in the comments talking shit all the time. And what's funny is people are like, who are these guys? And I'm like, dude, those are my homies from high school. Like, we've been talking shit like this for like 25, 26, 20, not longer. If you think about it,
yeah, we're fucking.
Don't date us, right? So it's gonna be like 20 some years out of high school, but we started knowing each other. You're a year younger than us, right?
Yeah.
You were
98.
98, right? We're 90. Me and Eddie were 97 when we graduated. Dating ourselves, bro. We're getting old, Eddie. Old ass fart.
You're only as old as you feel, though.
That's true. So, so we know each other for a long time, but we've been talking shit like this the entire time. We've known each other for many, many years. In high school, Eddie and I, we were football guys. We played on the football team, and we were always forever talking shit during football. Eddie, do you remember the times on the bus to and from games we would just be talking shit? You, me, Peter Taggles.
Oh man, that was that would make any for all those who were really feeling a loss. Those right back to the high school were always made up for it. That was a good time. Dude,
we would talk some of the craziest shit and have the entire bus just howling, laughing. It was insane, and it was like the dumbest shit ever too. It was vulgar shit too. Like,
the coaches, probably even the fucking bus driver was laughing. I mean, it got hilarious.
Can you imagine telling those kind of jokes today? The kids would fucking cry and go home, and someone would get fired.
Oh, for sure.
We would talk shit, right?
Yeah,
we talk a lot of shit. And then Jaime, you were a year younger, and then so when you came in, you were part of the band, right?
No. I did football just a bit, like sophomore year.
Oh, okay.
And it was stupid because we just chose not to follow through with it anymore.
Yeah.
And we just hung out. So, I mean, you saw that it wasn't even a matter of were you good enough to be on the squad. It's just if you wanted to be on it.
Yeah,
and,
true. Yeah,
because there was a lot of people that, okay, yeah, they're going to play. They're not. No, they're not. And I think we kind of took our lead just based on the friends that we had.
That's true. That's true.
The best player that we had in our year was Swampy.
Yeah, Swampy's a big kid.
Yeah, and he just opted. He's just like, you know what? I'm not going to play next year. So then we're like, we're not going to play next year.
Yeah. Football was cool. It was part of the cool guys. Like, I was lucky enough to grow up around a big football family. I played football. I only played till my sophomore year because junior year is when I started DJing and partying.
Yeah.
And I realized I liked women more than I liked playing football. But football was a big part of my life for from the age of sixth grade up until around that time. You know what I mean? I mean, it was a big thing. But and then I just turned into a crazy asshole, right? I mean, we were all crazy in high school, right, Eddie?
Oh God, animals.
Not I.
If you guys knew Eddie, oh boy,
party animal.
This dude.
Santa Barbara High was a fun experience. I hated junior high with a fucking passion. When they told me to get out, you're not graduating, I fucking ran out. Okay, but for the most part, high school was a great experience. Met all you guys and more people, and it was cool.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
And I
was supposed to go to SM because my mom lived in Goleta, so I shouldn't have even gone to Santa Barbara High.
I
used my grandma's address at the time, and it's a whole tradition thing. So that's how I ended up there, and happily. And I told my mom I was going to drop out if you sent me to San Marcos. So
yeah, I remember that. And the crazy thing about that is, people that are listening, they don't know that San Marcos and Santa Barbara, there was a rival schools where we grew up at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Eddie went to all the what we call the West Side San Marcos schools all the way through junior high, but ended up at Santa Barbara High School, which was the East Side Santa Barbara rivalry school, and that's when I met you. Was that freshman year? So a lot of good times, man. But anyway, so it's funny, you know, people who don't know us just don't know the kind of shit we talk. And so when people see the comments, they're like, what the hell? And people laugh, they bust up. People are like, I'm waiting for this podcast to hear these guys talk some shit and to make some jokes and to crack some stuff. But, you know, we also talk about other crazy stuff, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of topics that we'll probably cover on this podcast. It's just going to be a bunch of random stuff. There's no kind of like, people always ask me, like, what's the topic going to be? I don't really have a topic. But this one is going to be really conversational and just have fun and talk about all kinds of stuff.
Well, and I think the people that think that we're constantly talking shit kind of forget that we have Bible study on Wednesday.
And then we get hammered on Sunday. Yeah. No, we definitely have a good time with it. So, you know, so after high school, right? I mean, all of us went our separate paths, right? I started, I was DJing at the time, but then DJing ended when I realized that, I wanted to make money and I got into my career. By the time I was 20, I was already in my IT career. By the time I was 23, I was living in Orlando on this huge IT contract. I was just about to become a father. A bunch of stuff was going on in my life. Through those periods of years of my life, that I was an absolute animal and just doing all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? I was all over the place. Eddie, you took off. You went into the military shortly after high school?
Yeah, like a few years after.
A few years after.
I
right?
tried doing the. I went to Santa Barbara City College right after high school, and then I realized one semester in how much I hated school, and not like in a way a second grader hates school. It's just not for me. You know what I mean? And then the last straw was I had my book stolen. I parked right across from Santa Barbara City College in that lot over by the beach.
Yep.
And I saw my windows bashed out, and and I drove this Geo Metro, the biggest piece of shit in that lot. And of course, that's the one that gets robbed, right? not any of the new stuff. The fucking, the car that looks like someone fucking lives in it. And
just his luck, poor Eddie. Dude.
And yeah, exactly. And I was in Goleta working that telemarketing job.
Oh, everyone worked at
service and sales.
That everyone worked at.
Oh Jesus, I'm gonna have to answer to that and many other things before I'm let into heaven, because you're just burning people. You know what I mean?
Everybody worked at a telemarketing job at some point, bro.
Is that where Felipe?
Everyone. I mean, the money's good, but I mean, when you get older, you think about it. I mean, there's like people going, "This is my last $50. You're my last hope."
Dude.
You're like, "Okay, ma'am, good luck."
Yeah, I had a good friend growing up who's still a friend of mine now who owns a telemarketing business. He still runs one. It's not as shady as what they used to run though back in the day. It was like remember Info Direct? Do you guys remember Info Direct? That was one,
that
dude.
was the worst.
So I worked one summer. I was in between jobs and I was already working my IT career, but the job had ended, so I was in between that and another job. The other job was going to start for like a month, so my buddy who owned Info Direct is like, dude, just come work over here, bro. You just telemarketing. And I remember like the second bro, I think it was like the third or fourth call I had. Like an old lady called in. She's like, "You took my unemployment, my social security check," and she's like screaming, crying. I'm like, "What? I don't even know what we're doing yet. I didn't even know what I was doing on the phones." Right? Come to find out, they were selling people like the whole thing was they would sell people like we're gonna sell cars or repossessed cars or homes or whatever, and they'd basically take like free information out of the newspaper and then market it all over other newspapers, and then people would call in saying, "Oh, how do I get the listings for these cars?" And they would sell it to them for like $100, and they just get a packet of paper. And dude, I felt so bad after like the fifth call of that someone calling crying about like, I can't even feed my kids. I was like, dude, I am done with this shit, bro.
See, and hearing you guys talk about that, because I fucking hated you guys, not you guys in general, but just the telemarketers, because I went right after high school. I tried to go to CC and I wanted to do the masseuse class just because
You want to test nalgas or what?
But then I ended up working with my dad at Henry's out in Goleta, and everybody worked there. Everybody that played soccer at Santa Barbara High School.
Nosotros?
Yeah, all of those guys were working at Henry's. So it was telephone products, but it was 5 a.m. to 5:30, and my dad was my boss. So I lived with my dad. I worked with my dad. I mean, I saw my dad 24 hours a day.
That's cool, though.
And yeah, I mean, in retrospect, I spent my time with my dad. But during my lunch break, I only had a half hour, so I'd like run out to 7-Eleven on Hollister, and then I see fools coming from across the street from the telemarketing job and like nice ass fucking cars, You know, here I am buying a fucking hot dog at 7-Eleven. These guys are buying like chips, burgers. I'm like, motherfuckers.
If you were scandalous, bro, you can make a lot of money. Like the most scandalous people would make the most money at those jobs. And it's funny because I know a lot of them now, they're going to get mad at me for saying this, but that was a scandalous ass job. I only did it for like a week because my conscience, man, I couldn't do it. After that, I was like, nah, I can't. Even though I was making like a lot more money doing that job than what I was doing in the IT world already, I was like, nah, not cool, man. I can't do it. So, but dude, that company was called Info Direct, and then all of us would, when we would answer the phone, we'd be like, thank you for calling Ninfo Erect. How can I help you? And we would still make sales doing that, dude.
Oh, yeah,
horrible,
those places
man.
Were
crazy, right?
Those places were the worst. But they were fun to work at because you know, you see everybody you know that worked there.
Oh yeah, and everyone would be like,
you know,
most people would be showing up like super drunk from the club before. People were halfway stoned out of marijuana. People were like fucking. It was just it was just a bunch of misfits. Working together, making money, making a lot of money too. You know. So Jaime, what did you do after high school?
Well, that I'm telling you, I went to.
You went to work with your pops.
Yeah. And see, and the thing was that he had tried to get my brothers in there, and my older brothers, not Satu, but my twin brothers, they just didn't want to work. They're like, nah, whatever. So then he kind of like, I think, sought to work there for a bit, but my dad was no longer trying to push me to go work with him. He I think he just kind of gave up, and he's like, fuck it, this guy's not going to work here either. So I actually applied without him knowing. I didn't use him as a reference. I didn't do any of that. And I was able to get in because I had taken metal shop with Mr. Lanning.
Oh, dude, Mr. Lanning. Who remembers that guy?
So I
that was the greatest class ever.
Dude, I had wood shop with him. You had metal shop? See, I didn't have metal. I did wood with him. But okay, think of teachers like Mr. Lanning, guys. How many teachers today are like that guy?
No one.
I haven't met a teacher yet. My kid is about to graduate high school next week. His last day of high school is tomorrow. He's graduating early because he's tired of being stuck at home with Rona. He'd rather go out and work and start his life. So I said, do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
College isn't that incredibly important to me. He's going to go to like a low college and try to transfer out to, UC, whatever, state school. But I'm like, hey, dude, don't even worry. The college to me, I didn't go to college, man. I got a fucking high school diploma, which, I was easy to get. You know what I mean? Like for him, it's easy to get through.
Different times, you're at home. You don't have that experience of kind of the shit talk like that we're talking about.
Right.
Being there face to face with some friends and shit like that. So, I mean, if dude, that's fucking great for him to be out already. Yeah.
So he's gonna he's gonna get out or whatever. But I was thinking, now he's been in school for almost 12 years, right?
Yeah.
Complete years. Well, more, right? Considering kindergarten, almost 13 years.
Preschool, kindergarten. 13,
14 years. And I look back and I think of all the teachers he's had. Not one of the teachers in that entire time I could even think of was even close to someone like Mr. Lanning. All the other teachers that we look back now going, damn, those are good teachers. I just don't see those kind of teachers. I'm not saying that every teacher, whoever's listening, gets butthurt about all teachers being bad. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
it's
just step up your game.
It's and it's just exactly. But it's also just a different time, right? I mean, the reality is, look at the time differences. When we grew up, our teachers were old as fuck.
Yeah,
they had life experience. They had patience.
They didn't care.
They didn't care.
Some of them were just like, I'm not going to put up with your shit.
Exactly. Yeah, and today it's like all this. It's different. And the teachers that I have spoken to today that I do know are like so fed up with this whole kind of sissified culture. They're like, oh my God, this is crazy. And what they are really fed up with is like the parents who go to them and say, well, what is your problem? That can't be my kid, it's you.
Yeah.
And see, I've always been the opposite, right? I was a person that when I was always in trouble. All the way through my 20s, early 30s, I was always in trouble. You know what I mean? From the minute I was born, I'm probably 30 until I was like 33, I was always in trouble.
But see, like Dr. Garza said, you're lucky your grandma works here.
Exactly, bro. I was lucky that my grandmother worked at Franklin Elementary. I would have got kicked out. But the thing is that the difference between then and now is like whenever I would be in trouble, my mom would come up and be like, what did he do? She'd grab me by the ear, smack me in front of the principal, whatever, And today the parents are coming to the teachers going, well, what's your problem?
Yeah.
It can't possibly be my kid. Fuck, dude, we live in weird times, right, guys?
Yeah. It's these, you know who these teachers aren't done. They know who the troublemakers are going to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
And sometimes they're just sick of it.
Yeah.
They can't do their job for, the students that want to learn. And then you just have these rotten apples, and it comes from home too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and what's crazy, Eddie, is when we were young, we were the troublemakers.
Oh, yeah. But, and
now troublemakers upset us.
we remember like brawls in the like in the school playground, and these kids are shooting up the place. These are weird times,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think about,
I don't know,
like a teacher
really can't
teaching,
explain it.
yeah, I mean, it's just
To
a
be
different
honest with
time. You're gonna have a teacher that before you used to egg a teacher on to get a response from them, and it was just for shits and giggle in the classroom. But now you have kids that are gonna taunt a teacher, talk shit to the teacher, push them to the point of them reacting, so somebody can record them.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit.
The camera's probably a big part of it.
Yeah. So so that's a big difference. I think that some of the teachers are dealing with now. It's like the teachers that we fucked with, they took it out on us and that moment.
And you also respected them though, because those teachers be like, "I'll fucking smack the shit out of you, kid."
Yeah.
Like they had that kind of mentality. Like even though, there was some that were really nice and caring or whatever, but the bulk majority of them were like, "Hey, you're gonna respect me." It's kind of the difference between parents who are like, "Oh, my kid is my friend, and I'm gonna make sure my kid knows that they're my friend and they can come talk to me about anything." Where I'm like, "Fuck that! I'm their parent 1st. I'm their friend second. I am their friend." But there's a very thin line between being a parent first and their friend second. And there's too many parents, I've been saying since we were growing up, because we had people that we grew up with. We would party at our friend's house with their parents, How many times did you guys go to a friend's house and have beers at your friend's house when you were fucking 14, 15 years old and their parents were there drinking with them?
I didn't drink until I was 21.
Oh, shit. All right. Eddie, you know that, though, right? I mean, how many times? I can't. I mean, there's so many times I'd be like hanging at a friend's house and their parents would be drinking with the kids who were like 12, 13, 14, 15, like different times.
Yeah.
Man.
Passing the weed back and forth with parents. That was a trip.
Now they vape together.
I would have never
on it. That song came out back then, brother. Eddie was a big pothead.
And it sounds like you're going to move on from the teacher subject, but I will say this: you remember that movie, The Breakfast Club? Of course you do.
Of course.
Do you remember that part where the principal and the janitor, they're having a couple beers in the storage room?
Yep.
And teachers need to be prepared to what to expect, because when the janitor tells them you expected summers off and just all these these kids excited and anxious to learn, that's not the case. You got to put up with these assholes who are there because their parents force them or it keeps them out of jail, and then you have the other half who actually want to be there and learn something and do something with themselves. So they really do have to be prepared to what they're about to take on, especially nowadays. Yeah, and I do feel for them, and they're way underpaid. But
I absolutely agree with that. I talk shit about teachers joking around, but they're definitely underpaid, and they're definitely dealing with a lot. And the kids today are a different handful than we were.
Yeah, I think they're seen as babysitters.
Yeah,
and that's not the case. And you're gonna have a lot of teachers that are gonna be, very influential to a lot of these kids right now. So I think I said it last time, but you listening out there, be active. Ask the teacher, hey, do you need Kleenexes? Do you need, whatever? I mean, because you'd be surprised. A lot of these teachers are having to go buy, hand wipes or everything comes out of their pocket.
Yeah, and they don't get paid that much to begin with.
No,
so that's the
course
thing
not.
too. Teachers should get paid more.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing like police officers today, right? We're like, oh, the cops suck. The cops suck. Well, to be honest, cops don't make that much money. They can make decent coin because they get a lot of overtime, but we're not hiring like, I mean, I take that back because I know some policemen and sheriffs who are very close friends of mine who are like the best people in the world, right? Yeah. They're elite. But at what we're paying them, we're not paying them enough to be the fucking best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if there's somebody who deserves kind of getting paid a lot of money, in my opinion, it's the people that are teaching our next generation, education, right? I mean, education is everything,
Yeah.
So I do agree with that, but I also do want to say one thing that's sort of goes against what I'm saying now is that I'm tired of hearing teachers complain about going back to school because of COVID. Because right now, like, there's a lot of teachers who are like, I don't want to go back and teach. I don't want to do it because they've been teaching from home now. And as much as they complained about it, I think a lot of them are like, oh, well, it's pretty cool hanging out on my freaking underwears and my boxers from, the waist up. All I got to do is wear a shirt. You know what I mean? So there's that piece of it too. And also like the whole, I'm afraid, I'm this, I'm that. Guess what? When you chose that job, you chose to be around a lot of people all the time. That's part of your job. It's kind of like choosing to be a fireman, choosing to be a social worker, choosing to work as a child welfare services officer. It's like one of those things where you're going to deal with public, man. That's what you chose to do. You can't go and be upset now, be worried now when schools are reopening and be like, I don't want to go back. Well, then don't be a teacher then.
Yeah, but I mean, that all falls on the union, the teachers union. And, you have an issue, bring it up, talk to them.
Sure.
See what you guys, put together.
I'm just tired of hearing that. I've heard it from a few people, and I'm like, ugh, come on, man. Like, if there was ever a time to be a hero right now as a teacher, now's your chance to be a hero. You know what I mean? To go back and to inspire the youth to not be afraid of this, to teach the youth that, hey, this thing happened, it's a pandemic, but don't let it affect you for the rest of your life. Because this stuff is going to scar kids. I mean, COVID is insane, right? I mean,
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
A year ago, we were like, a year and a couple of weeks ago, we were like, oh, we got this new virus here. It's kind of crazy. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're shutting things down for 3 weeks. Oh, it's 3 months later. Oh, it's 6 months later. Oh, here we are a year later.
Then we're fucking honking at people for their birthday.
Exactly. These kids are going to grow up with, like, every time they hear someone honking at them, they're going to go, oh my God, it's my birthday. You know? It's fucking.
Yeah. Good point.
You know what I mean? Drive by. So the thing is, like, this COVID, you know, this whole pandemic, we'll call it, is going to stamp and impress on these kids for the rest of their life. And it's going to be done in a way of fear. And that's what I think most people who were kind of like against masks and against all that stuff, I think what they were really worried about is what I'm talking about, is that the fact that this thing is going to now be a part of their memory and their subconscious for the rest of their life. And that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? So how has COVID been treating you guys? You guys both working during COVID? Working from home? You work actually.
Everything's kind of back to normal. Like, not normal, but you know what I mean. Compared to like the hysteria of like, oh, you're gonna be locked down forever, and get to Costco, stock up. You know, it's gonna be a long time inside. You know, a year later, things are, you know, except for like social gatherings and stuff like that, everything's smooth again. But you know, during the early days of you know, this virus, you know, pandemic. What's a good way to put it? I don't know. I can't think right now.
It was super uncertain, man. It
mass hysteria. You know, people didn't know what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a really, you know, unstable time.
Yeah, so. Mass hysteria is a good way to put it. We didn't know what it was, right? Yeah. We're like, oh my God. And they were saying, here's the thing, man. They were sending us all these videos from China of people like falling over in the streets and dying in the streets. And I'm like, holy shit, this thing's crazy. And you know what? At the end of the day, it is. A lot of people have gotten sick. A lot of people have died. I now know multiple people who have died from it. You know, most of those people, actually all of them, had some kind of comorbidity. You know what I mean? So it is killing people. I mean, it's a real thing. I think it was horribly mismanaged. And I think, unfortunately, all of us are going to live with this subconscious fear in our mind now of like, can I shake my friend's hand? Can I fucking kiss my mom on the cheek? Can I, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird time. And I think it's going to imprint on our minds. And that's the biggest thing for me that I think is the most concerning, is that this era, this time, it's going to carry through now. It's not going to end tomorrow or 5 years from now or 10 years from now. This is going to be with us for like the next 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, our kids will hit our age, and then it'll finally be like, oh, remember that COVID time?
Yeah, like that happened.
You know? That happened, bro.
Yeah.
I had to hang out in my room and eat hot Cheetos and order food in and play on my PS5 for, you know, all day long. I was bored, man.
The only visitor you had was a fucking mailman dropping off your fucking Amazon packages.
Dude, fucking my mailman hates me, bro. I order so much Amazon shit, dude. In my house, literally every day, even my neighbor makes fun of me. He's like, bro, there's a package out there every fucking day. I'm like, dude, Amazon Prime, I mean, we have a horrible, it's just a toxic ass relationship, man.
It's like they just sent you your own drone, huh?
Oh, bro. I just order shit. You guys saw that I ordered that titty pillow? Did you see that?
No.
Oh, you guys missed that. Okay, so I don't know, about a month ago I got this package in the mail, right? And I opened it up, and it's just like, you know when they seal like a pillow or whatever, it's really like flat, they vacuum seal it, so it's like super small, but the foam expands.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the hell is this? All I see is this red thing inside of this like vacuum sealed plastic. And so I cut it open, and it starts to expand. And it takes a good like 10 minutes while it's expanding. So I'm watching like, what the hell is this? What did I order, you know? I don't remember ordering this. And it didn't come from Amazon, right? It came from some random name, but my name was on it. It's a random company. And so I'm waiting. And it finally finishes expanding. I look at it, I go, what the hell is that? So I pull off the plastic. I look at it. It's a memory foam pillow of titties, and the nipples and everything are in the memory foam. I have to show you. It's out there. It's in my living room.
Is it dirty?
So at that moment, I realized, oh my God. Like a month before that, I came home after happy hour. Was pretty buzzed, you know, having a good old time. And I got an ad on Instagram because I'm always posting about titties on Instagram. I got an ad on Instagram for a titty pillow, and I ordered the pillow like an idiot, bro. Well, again, who does that? Who does that? I don't even know what I paid for it. Probably like $30 for a foam titty
For
pillow.
foam titties.
God, dude.
Do you sleep on it?
Wait till you see it. It's amazing.
Do you sleep on them?
I've taken a nap on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it fits right in the middle of your neck. You know what I mean? You got one titty to the left, one titty to the right.
Do they feel like
The left titty holds up your chin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's amazing. So, but anyways, that's the story about the titty pillow, man. So, here I am, this old ass man coming home, buzzed after happy hour, and a month later realizing that I ordered a titty pillow from a freaking Instagram ad. So that's my problem is I buy too much dumb shit online.
that's not a bad problem?
Well, gentlemen, I'm glad that all the families and, all of our kids, families and stuff are doing good during this COVID time because it has been pretty nuts.
Yeah. I mean, how is it up there in Colorado?
As far as what, like the population in general?
Well, just like the whole COVID in general, like how, I mean, you obviously see that people in California take it as serious as they should sometimes.
Well, I don't know how it works in California as far as like the colors, but over here we're in blue, which means it's like getting to where we'd like to be, but
Fool, that means you're a
I think
sureño.
that's green.
Yeah.
Huh?
That means you're a sureño.
I know. and then Bill Gates, I read an article. He said by the end of 2022, everything should be back to normal, just like it was that day before COVID restrictions.
Sure.
And that sounds about right. You know what I mean? And I think people are always going to wear masks. It's cool here though. Everyone practices. There's always that one insensitive person that doesn't make people look stupid, but
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, Eddie.
Go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you, since you live in Colorado and Denver, it snows and it gets cold there, right? So
mostly cold in it.
So in the winter time, are you used to staying home because it's really cold?
Well, okay. There's different levels to it. There's snow where it's like, okay, let's go grab the sled. Let's go have some fun. You know what I mean? Or go build a snowman or throw snowballs at people. But then there's like that blistering cold, and added with like high winds where it feels like little needles hit in your face. Yeah, that's where you like stay inside and enjoy a beverage or like some your comfort food and shit like that. So there's different.
That's wild,
but
man.
The skiers and snowboarders, they just can't stay away from the mountains. They get hit hard every winter.
It's the cold life. I'd rather have cold than hot.
Yeah, I think as
it's because we're fat.
Yeah,
chunky but funky, bro.
There's only so much you can take off.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you get a ticket.
But cold like that. Like I spent some time in Boston, right? When I was in Orlando, living in Orlando when I was 23, I was out there for this big job, but or rather consulting gig. But when I was there, I traveled a lot, right? I spent a lot of time in Boston, and I remember going to Boston I think it was like April, man. And I got off the plane and it was like 40 degrees in April. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is cold. Back home, it's like 85 degrees already. What's going on here, That cold. I don't know if the cold weather, like that cold is for me, man. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, but during the summers here, it gets over 100 daily.
Really?
So, yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. So it's extreme.
I mean, technically Colorado's a desert. Okay, just because it's so high up, that's why we get the weather we do. But it is a desert.
But is it like doable heat?
Fucking heat.
But dry. It's dry, right? So it's tolerable.
Yeah. It's not like that humidity you might get in the south or on the west coast, But it's just like that dry heat. Of course, you've been to Vegas or Palm Springs. You know how that is.
Yeah.
It's tolerable. But man, see, that's the thing. Is like the extremes. I've been trying out the idea, Eddie, of selling my rental out here and buying like a cabin property on the lake out there in Denver somewhere, man. So spending
I know a few people who do that, and they have nonstop people that want to spend the week or a weekend in a cabin.
Well, exactly. So that's my goal. I'm considering doing that because like I get so tired of living in the city. Like we still live in the city, It's still like it's very much a city life here, and I like being away from people. And I used to work. This guy used to report to me at a company I worked at in the past, and he was not the most nicest guy. He was actually quite a piece of shit asshole. Like he was just a rude dude. Even though I was his boss, he was a piece of shit to me. It was like one of those kind of. This guy was gross. So him and his wife had split up, and I didn't know the full story. I'd only heard third party, but I could assume why she left him because he was in a very nice guy.
Yeah.
But anyways, during the divorce, he got some money. He bought like a cabin style property up in Colorado on the lake for like a couple $100,000, like a nice property, dude, like an acre piece of land. And it was a cabin style home, but it was newly built. You know what I mean? And he was like 40, 50 yards from the lake. So, he'd get up in the summertime and go, watch beavers fuck in the lake and, in his underwear and have his coffee and then go to work. He could work, you know what I mean? So I'm like, he was telling me this stuff and I'm thinking to myself, like, if anyone didn't deserve this, it's not you. So I was trying not to be a hater in my mind, but I was like, I'm not going to hate on him, but I'm going to make that happen for me.
Yeah. Well, the kind of work you do, you can pull that off.
Exactly. I can work from there. So what I've been considering, Eddie, do you guys have state taxes over there in Colorado?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. But they're probably not as high as California.
No, God, no.
California's horrible. But so what I was considering doing is buying a cabin lake property, like selling my rental, buying that property out there, and then spending my summers there and my winters here, but spending like one extra day of the half of a year there, so I can pay taxes in that state instead of here. And then Airbnb it out in the wintertime when people want to hang out in a cabin in the snow.
So this right now, this feels like when Jonah Hill found out that the other two dudes were fucking going to college together. Like, is that what's happening right now? Is that why we're doing this podcast?
Yeah, because I'm going to hang out with Eddie in the snow, bro.
You two guys are about to fucking team up together and just be butt buddies in fucking Colorado.
I'm going to hang out with fucking Eddie every weekend. I'm going to make sure he gets divorced.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, you should really look into it. A lot of people are, they come from like the big city and they want like a mountain experience and they'll pay the money to do it,
Yeah, totally. So I'm
they want to
considering
be
that.
out there.
Just
like
imagine.
there's when you first get to the mountains, you have like that, I don't know, kind of like touristy experience. But if you get not so much deep in the mountains, but like a mountain town, like people love it. You know what I mean? You're away from the city. It's beautiful, and the beauty on top of it is like the selling point. You don't even have to really say anything.
I want that Dumb and Dumber experience. You know what I mean? I want to clog a toilet in the mountains.
Fucking John Denver's full of shit.
Well, you got that stimmy, so you should buy that Lamborghini in that movie.
I ain't getting no fucking stimmy, man. I haven't got one goddamn stimmy, man. I don't qualify.
Fucking walk and be like, you got a gun?
People like me pay the taxes for those goddamn stimmies. You know what I mean? Fuck, dude. I don't get shit.
A bunch of kids that are gonna go from what's the name that you say?
What's that
for the kid with the teeth?
Oh, it's the Jaden. Jaden.
They're gonna go from Jaden to Stimothy.
Dude, that's a good one. We're making a meme out of that tomorrow.
Stimothy.
I'm giving you credit, man.
Stimothy 1, Stimothy 2.
Stimothy 1, Stimothy 2, man. Yeah, bro. Freaking El Jaden. Why did everyone name their fucking kid Jaden? Come on. You guys all know somebody with a kid named Jaden, right? I know at least, without exaggeration, 20 people that have a kid named Jaden, including I have 2 cousins that are named Jaden.
Yeah.
Younger than me, so second cousins.
Yeah. I know a few Jadens.
That's insane, dude. Everyone named their kid Jaden. It's weird, man.
Well, I guess it's just a trendy name.
Well, it was trendy for like 10 years, man.
Yeah.
Especially amongst Mexicans, man. Especially
it is, but I mean, like Central Americans, like you have like Michael, Brian.
Brian.
Yeah, I had this woman who lived in the apartment next to me when I first moved here. Well, she was like on the top floor, and her name was Alize.
Alize.
And Alize, just like the liquor, and it even had that kind of like that, like when you put words that have an accent.
Who said
like, holy shit, that didn't really take too much thought, did it?
What black comedian was
Dad
that?
Walked around with like a turquoise sweater every day.
She's going to be Alize.
No, there was a black comedian. I can't remember. It wasn't Chris. Was it Chris Rock? Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle. One of them said a funny joke. He said, "Man, black people are always naming shit. Their kids shit they can't afford." He's like Porsche, Diamond, Alize. He goes on, and I fucking die. That's from like the '90s, dude. I forgot what it was. A black comedian. I think it was.
I think it was Chris Rock.
It was Chris Rock, huh?
Yeah.
I think it was Chris Rock. Chris Rock, dude, he was a man when it comes to comedy. If you haven't seen Bigger and Blacker, which is his comedy from the late 90s, that comedy is when he released that right after the Columbine shooting happened. So all the same shit we're talking about today, racism, gun control, gun violence, mass shootings, also we talk about today, crazy white kids with guns, it's all in Bigger and Blacker. Bigger and Blacker is one of the best comedy skits you'll ever see in your life. If you haven't seen it, I highly advise that you go find it. It's amazing.
All right.
And what's cool is to look back 25, 30 years ago and go, damn.
And then we haven't changed.
It's the same shit.
Yeah.
It's the same shit. You know what I mean? It's the same shit, man. It's crazy. So how are you guys feeling about let's talk about some kind of edgy topics. So, we had that quote unquote mass shooting, right?
Yeah.
What are your guys', now we're older, we're fathers, right? We have older children. Eddie, I think how old's your son now, Eddie?
Oh God, he'll be 13 in May.
13.
Damn.
Jesus Christ, man. I remember when he was just damn, bro. Just getting to the fun age.
Oh,
So, we all have older kids. My son's going to be 18 in a month. Literally a month from today, he'll be 18.
Nice.
So he'll be an adult. His ass better get a job, start paying rent. You have older kids too.
RJ just turned 16. Andrew just turned 15.
Just turned 15.
Andrew was the one that was here.
He was on the
last
podcast
time.
before. Yeah.
RJ was gonna, be here, but we've been out like for a couple days, so he just wanted to be home now.
Just want to be home. Yeah.
But he's actually he's looking to study film moving forward.
Oh, that's cool. He can help us out with the shooting.
I know, huh? Figure some shit out here.
Yeah, exactly. So good stuff. So now that we're older, we have kids and stuff, and we have a different perspective on life. I think because of that, because all of us were wild in our own different times, right? But I think the whole 2A debate today, like it's just something, right? So we didn't if you look at it, I posted something online that said, it's kind of funny how we haven't had a mass shooting in an entire year, and then as soon as COVID is not scary anymore, we have this mass shooting, right?
Yeah, well, you have two because there was two
It's
within
true.
a month.
There's 2 within a month. But the real one that the people were looking into was the one where 10 people were shot in that supermarket, right?
Yeah.
And so, but then people immediately attacked me. Were like, well, there's mass shootings every day. There's actually been 102 this year. And I was like, oh, fuck. Because the problem with the internet is when you post something, you have to really vet every little thing you say.
Fact check.
Oh my, people come after you, right? So I was like, okay, let me explain to you what I mean by that. I get that we have mass shootings a mass shooting technically is 3 or more people were shot in one event.
Yeah.
That's what that means. Not dead, but shot in one event. That's a mass shooting. Now, something like 95+% of those, I think, are attributed to, I don't think, but I remember 90-some% of those are attributed to gang violence. So like a weekend in Chicago is probably 50% of that for that week. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're talking about gang violence, right? So that's not senseless. What I was referring to is senseless acts of murder, because there's some mentally ill person or an angry person that goes out and wants to kill people for whatever reason. And so
troubled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
well, it depends on
the skin color.
Depends on the skin color.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that 100%. I think the media tosses shit around quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
If you watch, so here's what I do. I try to keep it super balanced, and I try to keep my mouth shut about all these things here's what I've learned to do. When something really big happens like this, I try to kind of just look at it for a couple of days. Just wait and wait out the facts. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of facts, and there's a case I'm going to talk about next about facts that'll kind of tie into this.
Yeah.
But the problem is that when you watch the news, if you're watching CNN, it's going to be all about, holy shit, there's this guy who came and he was, murdered everybody and blah, blah, blah. And because he was white, they didn't give a shit about it. And they fed him a cheeseburger and blah, blah, blah. Without all the facts of the case or the facts of what happened, they just feed this shit to their audience, right? The people that are listening to them. If you watch Fox News, it's an entirely different story. It's the complete opposite. And the problem is that these news organizations are polarizing the shit out of the information that's being sent to the people. And that's why we are such a polarized nation today, is mostly because of social media, but second, because of the actual media is no longer people that report. They don't report news to us anymore. What they report to us is what they think we want to hear.
Shock value.
Yeah. No, but it's also for their group of people that they think that they know they want to hear to continue to get more advertisement dollars. That's all it is. So our country now is super divided and polarized over money. And the money comes from, how do we make people upset? How do I get people on my team?
Yeah.
Are you a Chevy guy? Are you a Ford guy? Are you a Navy guy? Are you an Army guy? You know what I mean? Are you pro-woman, anti-woman? Are you pro-gay, anti-gay? And all these things you look at and all the different channels, they just segregate it, right? So this 2A thing that's kind of crazy is that we have this super mentally ill guy. I'm talking about the one where 10 people were killed in the supermarket.
Yeah.
And have you seen the video?
No, I didn't. I heard stories and.
Eddie, did you watch the video? I sent it to you, Eddie. You watched the video.
Yeah.
The guy. How weird was that video, Eddie?
Oh, dude. There's no. It's just fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. And it was just weird because like the video starts out with the guy, first of all, right? He's got his phone.
Yeah.
He's recording. And he looks back like he's in the front of the store. Imagine like being in front of Vaughn's, right? And he peels back and he looks at the parking lot. There's 2 people laying there, basically obviously dead. And then he peels back and he's talking kind of semi-comedy for looking at dead bodies in the street, right? He's like, oh yeah. And then he looks at the front door and there's this old man, probably like in his 70s. One of the guys who's a greeter at a store, you know? Mm-hmm. He's got like an orange like vest on, like he's the greeter, maybe the cart guy or something, an older man who's working. He goes, what's going on? The old man's like on the phone, like, I don't know. And then he looks over and there's like this really tall, skinny, homeless, like black guy. He goes, like black guy's like looking at him like, what? And he's like, well, what's going on? He goes, oh my God, there's shootings here. Oh my God, there's people that are dead here. Everybody call 911. I said, him getting off his phone from filming and calling himself. Yeah. He's telling people on his live Facebook feed to call 911. And then he asked the old man, well, where's he at? Why would you be asking where he's at if now you know there's an active shooter and there's people dead in front of you? Why aren't you fucking gone? The weirdest video ever. And then he goes into the front of the store, just like in the beginning of the door, to walks in and looks, and the old man that's in there goes, look. He goes, where's he at? Where's he at? The man goes, look right there. There's a body right there. Like just all calm. And the guy goes, oh my God, there's a body. And like starts freaking, and at that point starts freaking out, right? Yeah. But he doesn't leave. He's still there filming like a dumbass. You and I and Eddie would be the fuck out of there. I'm out of here, dude. I'm gone. Yeah. The first 2 bodies I saw the first 2 bodies I saw on the goddamn street before I got there would have been gone. You know what I mean? At least in my car, you know? And then he's looking at this body. Imagine like 15 feet into the stores where the body's at, right? And then you hear like 3 or 4 gunshots. Bah, 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 bah. And he goes, oh my God, those are gunshots. But he doesn't leave. It's just a really weird video. Now, my conspiracy mindset, which isn't that conspiracy laden. Like I don't consider myself like that crazy conspiracy theory guy. Yeah. Watched this video and went, this seems really weird. This just seems really weird. It just seemed like a really weird video. It just didn't seem right? So
I'll have to look at it.
Oh my God, I'll send it to you. And you're gonna go, what the fuck? At least everyone, even like I sent it to my mom. Mom's like, yeah, that's weird. She's like, that's really weird. I'm like, yeah. Like, isn't this the weirdest thing ever? Like, what? It just didn't make sense. It almost seemed like it was completely staged. And staged in a horrible way. Like some high schoolers who had a camera. Like, hey, bro, let's make fucking, what was that movie back in the day, the scary one?
Blair Witch.
Yeah, like some high schools were going to make the Blair Witch Project, and they made it for national TV for a fucking multi-person murder for a shooting. That's exactly what it feels like. It feels really weird. And it
just didn't make any fucking sense, because those stores are covered in surveillance cameras. Trust me, every murder that happened that day is on camera, clear as day.
Perfect.
Okay,
that's a good point.
There's no need for that. There's no need for that guy to be standing there with his camera phone on. You know what I mean? Let the security cameras do their job. Don't fucking die to be famous on the gram for 24 hours.
Yeah, for likes.
You know what I mean? It really doesn't make any sense. It's just really weird.
You know what's crazy? I hadn't even considered the fact that all the other cameras that are out there, and the only angles we got was the guy from Facebook. You know what I mean? Like it was it was just really weird, man, and it was just strange. And then they pull the guy out, and he's a Muslim guy. I forget. I don't know what part of the world he's from. I don't want to sound racist because then I'll get attacked for that. But he was someone from the Middle Eastern. He had his name was like Muhammad Alissa or something like that. Yeah. And when they put him on, they're walking him out. Everyone's like, "Oh my God!" Like just because the color of his skin, like he didn't get shot or killed like all the other people that have color in their skin get shot and kill cops there. But people didn't realize it when they were pulling him out. If you look at his fucking leg, there's a bloody ass leg because he got shot in the fucking leg. So like, he just didn't happen to get shot in his chest or his head, but he got shot. It wasn't like they just let him walk away.
Did he strip down or did they strip him down?
He stripped himself. So he's mentally ill. So he stripped himself down. And I think probably why he did that is he's probably scared to say, hey, I don't got no guns on me. Yeah. I'm assuming what he did, he probably, because he seems very mentally ill. From all accounts, from everyone that knows him, his friend from high school that would just graduate with him or whatever, like everyone that's talked about him, which I was watching these videos earlier, like from all accounts, he seems very mentally ill, like extremely mentally ill. So people that are mentally ill, they do that.
And I was listening to a story that the governor from Colorado was saying that they have very strict laws when it comes down to guns. But what people do is they do a loophole. They go to Iowa where there's no restriction, and so you can go get those guns there and then come right back.
Yep. Yeah. So in some states, when you transfer those over state lines, and that's when you're breaking the law. So there's a lot of laws in place. The problem with today is like. The whole gun debate can go super deep, right? It can go. We could spend literally 24 hours in this podcast between us three talking about the gun debate. The problem is, in my opinion, my personal opinion, as a person who's a pro 2A supporter, let me just put that out there. I've grew up with guns, hunting, fishing for security reasons. I really believe in the 2A, amendment in this country. But, I'm also one of those people that I'm okay with sensible background checks.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know if someone's mentally ill. They shouldn't get their hands on a gun.
Absolutely.
Right? What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I got no problem with that. But, and here's the thing. They've done polls on this, and like something like 90+% of people that are pro 2A people are like, that's fine. I have no problem with that. Like, sensible gun background checks are cool.
It's like those that have something to hide that don't want it.
Right. Well, there's probably a small percentage of those people. So what I'm saying is most pro 2A people are like, that's fine. But that's different than saying we want to ban a certain number of bullets in a magazine, or we want to ban this weapon. So a lot of people don't know, but Joe Biden, who's now our president, he was integral to the assault weapons ban under the Clinton era in the 90s. If it wasn't for him, that wouldn't have passed. He was part of one of the main people who pushed that through. So for the longest time in California, you couldn't buy an AR-15 because of that assault weapons ban. And then California took that and just kept elevating laws until finally some judge in California years ago was like, no, this is stupid. This is totally not, this is against the Constitution. And they slammed it and got rid of it and said, sure, you can buy this rifle, but there's things you can't own. Like you can't own a 30-round mag. You have to have a 10, et cetera, all this other stuff, right? And so it's just, we're living in weird times. And people think that like, the person who tells me like, anti-gun people will be like, hey, what are you and your friends with the AR-15s going to do? You're not going to fight the government and whatever. And I'm like, have you ever heard of Vietnam? Because all those Vietnamese people, all they had was fucking a bunch of AK-47s, and they did pretty damn good. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Don't sit here and tell me that like an armed population is not a population to be afraid of. The government's afraid of armed people. That's why they want to disarm you.
Yeah.
So, but it's just it's a messed up topic, you guys. No matter which way you chop it up.
And there's no right or wrong because you're gonna have your opinion. Like you said, there's a lot of people that are gonna be like, yeah, that's fine, do the check, do this, do that. But then at the end of the day, it just comes down to money. It's the gun people that are gonna start giving money to people in Congress and say, hey, here's some money,
right?
Vote this down, whatever. Not and it's stupid. It's just they're not taking away your rights. They're just saying, hey, let's make sure that the people that have them are, suitable to have them.
Right.
And that's it. But then, you can go everywhere with that topic and then people are going to find something wrong with it. Like you just said, that there's no right, there's no wrong. If you own them and you're responsible,
right,
that's good.
So what do you think is what do either of you think is the incentive rather for the people that are anti-gun? What's their incentive? I've always been curious about that because they're always like, we want to save people, we want to stop people from being murdered. But if you look at like the statistics, like if you break them down and you really look at them with a fine-tooth comb, put them in a magnifying glass, like the stats of people who are murdered by guns every year, it's overwhelmingly people that kill themselves. So let's say you had 1,000 people, that were killed by guns this year, for instance, just to put a number out there. Something like 900 of those are people that committed suicide, right? Then you have that last 10%. And in that 10%, you have gang violence, you have a bunch of other things, right? Mass shootings, a bunch of other shit. And overwhelmingly, here's the thing that bothers me is overwhelmingly the number of people that are killed by guns are killed by handguns. They're not killed by AR-15s.
Yeah.
It's like there's like a fraction of a percent of people that are actually killed by assault weapons, but yet they're going after assault weapons. So why aren't people opening their minds and thinking, well, why are they doing that?
Yeah, they just don't want them out there.
They don't want them out there. They're afraid that people are armed in our population. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really what it is. Because if they really wanted to say, hey, there's a problem here, we need to solve it, get rid of all the handguns. And then even if we got rid of all the guns in America, then what happens? What's happening in Europe right now? All the Islamic extremist stuff that's going on in Europe, what are they doing? They're slashing people's necks with machetes in the street.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather take a bullet to the chest, bro, than a machete to the arm or the leg.
I'm not trying to bleed out for like an hour.
Dude, I mean, if you look at what they're doing, they're running people over with cars and they're slashing them with knives.
Bombs.
Yep, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's just a mess. It's just a messed up thing, man. And I there's a bigger topic around this that people are unwilling to talk about quite yet. And it's the fact that most of the people that are doing this are males in America. We have some extremist stuff that goes on here, but mostly the big mass shootings that we have in America that are killing a lot of people senselessly. I'm not talking about gun violence on a Saturday in Chicago. I'm talking about someone walks in the store and shoots people for no reason and kills 20 people, you know?
Yeah.
I'm talking that club in Florida that got shot where 50 gay people were killed, right? I'm talking about, you know, what just happened with these 10 people in this grocery store. I'm talking about those kinds of things.
They did in Vegas.
Oh, yeah. What about the guy that this is the one thing that really made me think there's a problem with men today and there's a problem with mental health, and we need to focus on that. Until we do, there's going to be this problem. Do you guys remember that guy, Roger? I think it was Roger Ayers or Roger, what was his name? The guy that shot up all those people in Isla Vista?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
his dad was in Hollywood.
Yeah.
His dad was like a Hollywood producer.
Mm-hmm.
So we come from Santa Barbara, everybody, and outside of Santa Barbara, the college town, Santa Barbara, UC Santa Barbara, the college town is in a city called Isla Vista, which is basically like a little small city right outside of Santa Barbara that all the college students stay in. And there was a guy named Roger, I can't remember his last name. Fuck him. Fuck his name. Yeah. But anyways, his name was whatever his name was. He's a piece of shit. Let's not fucking celebrate the shooter. But this guy, his dad was from Hollywood. He grew up very wealthy with a bunch of money. And before he went on the shooting spree and killed a bunch of women in Isla Vista, he killed a bunch, right? I think it was like 6 or 7 people.
Yeah, I think it was like 6 or 7.
Something like that. There was a lot of people. I don't remember the number, but he killed a lot of people. But he went on the shooting spree in Isla Vista, killing people. And he filmed himself for about a month before saying stuff like, well, look at me. I'm good looking. Why don't women like me?
Yeah, it was parked right there at Goleta Beach.
Yes. He's parked at Ledbetter.
No. It was Goleta Beach.
He was also parked down by Shoreline, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But the first person he killed, he
cut their neck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was his roommate.
His roommate. So he's like, he was really angry and upset at the world, especially women, because they wouldn't sleep with him.
Yeah.
And he's like, he was what you would call an incel. So people that don't know what incel is, this is a modern term for guys who consider themselves involuntary celibate. Incels. These guys are dangerous. These are the guys that are shooting up stores. These are the guys that are shooting up people for no reason. And he was an incel, and he was basically, in the videos, it's gross. He's in this video going, look at me. I'm a good-looking guy. Why would you sleep with this stupid thug and not me, a man who's good-looking and has money? And, like, he was really angry at people, especially women, and then went to shot up at school. But everyone knew that he was a weirdo.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that he had these issues. Everyone knew that he spoke this way, but no one lended him any kind of help. And so I keep telling people when I talk to them about these kind of topics that, like, men are being left behind. We can't save all men.
Yeah.
But we have to keep an eye out for these kind of men. And we have to make sure that these kind of men are helped out, because these are the guys, like this guy that just went to shooting those 10 people in that grocery store. He's got kind of one of these kind of guys. I don't know if he's an incel, but he's definitely left alone. I mean, his friend was on the news talking like, yeah, everyone's kind of worried about him and kind of scared of him and didn't want to hang out with him because he would talk about weird shit and he would get angry easily and people were afraid of him basically. Well, why aren't you guys saying something? Mm-hmm. The guy was playing around with the gun in his household. He was like living with his family and walking around with an AR-15 pistol playing with it. And he's a loony bin and they all know he's a loony bin, but they don't say anything.
Like they're afraid to fucking say something.
Maybe. I don't know if they're afraid, but I mean, shit. I mean, if you've seen it days before it happened, like, come on, this guy's he's a nut job. You know he's a nut job, but you're not going to try to, a nut job with an AR-15, you're not going to try to say anything? Like, come on, man.
Now, how far was that from you, Eddie?
What was that?
How far from where you're at?
Oh, okay. That's maybe about an hour. About an hour. That place is the definition of the last place you'd expect that to happen. You know, of course, shit happens anytime, anywhere, but you know that. I mean, talk about a target that no one remotely suspect. You know, I don't even think they have security at that one, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's just all bad. And then, you know, and real quick, the whole 2A thing, they think that all gun owners are just, you know, itching to pull the trigger, and so that's not it. The whole 2A thing is having the right to defend, you know, you and yours, you know what I mean, your property, your loved ones and stuff like that. That's all right. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Nobody wakes up in the morning and wants to shoot someone unless you're that one of those maniacs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People just want to be allowed their right. You know, and Javier's right. Suicide, gangs, and you know what's another big one? Irresponsible gun owners. Gun owners that you know leave their magazine you know with a round in the chamber just lying around, and then you know their kid finds it, or you know they get drunk and want to show off to the girls like they're fucking Doc Holliday in the bar, doing gun tricks. You know what I mean?
I'll be your Huckleberry
you
Eddie.
just imagine, besides all the tragedies like what happened in that grocery store, how much dumbasses have contributed to their own demise. You know what I mean? For being irresponsible. You know what I mean? That's another huge part.
Absolutely, man. So that whole gun debate can go deep. That's another one of those things.
It could last forever.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where like, again, you're Ford, you're Chevy, and people they pitch their fucking tent on the top of a mountain and they're gonna die there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On that subject, and it's like, dude, come on, man. And I mean, the only thing I ask people to look at is look at all the countries in the past, because the data, the information is out there. If you just do a little bit of search for yourself, and literally, if everyone spent 10 minutes searching for countries that disarmed their populations, and then watch what happened in those countries immediately afterwards, there has not been a successful disarming of people that didn't end up with a lot of people dying senselessly. And most of those countries in the past, unfortunately, again, this is another kind of topic that people like to talk about, were socialist or communist countries. Yeah, they disarm their people, and if you talk to like Cubans today that are here in America that came from Cuba, they'll be like, what are Americans' fucking problems? Why don't you guys get it? Like, we get it because we know our fucking history. It has just happened 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah, not that long ago.
Yeah, no, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? So it's just weird, man. It's a weird topic, but again, it's one of those things that people just don't get. And I fear that we're not going to get it in this country until it's too late. And I think we're getting close to that. It's getting weird, guys.
By the day, by the hour.
By the hour. So I wanted to bring up one situation that happened that I thought was really it actually opened my eyes quite a bit to how kind of crazy things are today. So do you guys recall that young kid who was he's 17 years old, his dad's a rich guy, he wrecked his Lamborghini into that woman's car. She was 32 years old, really attractive young Latina. Her name was Monique Munoz. This kid was 17. I don't know his name because I think they retracted it from most reports because he's a minor basically. But anyways, his dad comes from money. Him and his dad have a big Instagram following. His dad bought him a Lamborghini. Then this kid's allegedly is racing. I say allegedly because I'm going to be careful. I don't want to get sued. So allegedly, this kid has been racing his Lamborghini with somebody and then wrecked into this poor lady's car and killed her. Right. What drove me, what made me think like, wow, people are fucking so tied into left or right, or Chevy, Ford, whatever it is, was this topic. It really kind of outlined it for me because immediately after that had happened, the kid ended up in the hospital. He was pretty banged up too, right? And his father immediately went and started trying to find ways to
kill the story.
To kill the story, basically, in Google. So if you search for Google stuff, whatever, there's ways to kill stories in Google and other ways. There's ways easily. It don't cost that much money. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. If you don't want a story to be at the top of the search, you can do that, right? So he immediately went and did that so that someone have to be bashed by the internet, right? Because, I mean, I'm sure as a father, like, you're going to protect your kid. Your kids make fucking mistakes, right? Yeah. And so, but the internet was like, especially Latinos were like, because, the story that was fed by the news was, 17-year-old white kid, privileged white kid with all this money's street racing his Lamborghini and kills this beautiful 13-year-old Latina, and her parents are on TV and they're talking about it. And by the way, all due respect to her family and her, and it's a horrible tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy. But when I started seeing Latinos going after, like, the dad, you fucking piece of shit, I hope you die, and blah, blah, blah. How are you going to protect your kid, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, damn, that's kind of crazy because...
How many families, mijo no es cholo? No, mijo no está aquí.
Right.
So maybe the money aspect is
the
not
money
there.
That's what I'm going to get at. The money, but still, like, just because to do that though doesn't cost a lot of money. Anyone could do it. They just have to have the knowledge to do it. He probably has the knowledge and money and know how to do it. But to do it, most people don't need that much money to do something like that. But I looked at it as more than just that. I looked at it as more as like, I'm a father, right? Yeah. I've done my best to raise my son, right? He's about to be an adult here in a month. He's already making his own decisions and choices now for a number of years, right? He's going to make mistakes. And some of those mistakes may be horrible mistakes. Now, that doesn't mean I stop being a father unless, and I want to be very clear here, there's things like if your child fucking sexually molests kids, rapes somebody, murders somebody for senselessly for no reason, does some act that you can look at as a human and go, that's unforgiving, then I don't expect you to protect your child. But it wasn't like the 17-year-old kid woke up that day and was like, I'm going to drive my car down this road racing this kid and kill this woman. It wasn't like he was negligently like just trying to murder someone that day. You know, he did a stupid fucking act and it ended in a tragedy. And his father tried to protect him from modern day militia, which is people bashing on people on social media, right? I mean, what if this happened to your kid? Think of it for a second. Would you want your kid to have the opportunity to have his say in court and have everything else done before property, before the internet comes and starts to dox you and goes to your house and says, Jaime, I know where you live. I know where you and RJ live. We're going to go fucking kill you guys.
See, but I think for me, I see both. You know, you have to be empathetic to the family. You understand that,
sure.
Okay, if that were to happen to me, if I lost my family member because somebody was negligent, because they were, he made the choice to drive that fast. So you can't say, yeah, he didn't wake up saying, I'm going to go kill someone because I'm driving fast. But he made the choice to
sure.
drive fast. So when you're driving fast, you know that the possibility is there. Either you wreck yourself or you wreck somebody else. So, yeah, should the kid defend himself? Yeah, he should. Should he have his day in court? Yeah, of course. The dad hushing the story, I think as a parent, you do want to protect your kid as much as you can to a certain extent. Right. But at the end of the day, I think as a parent, for me, I would say, you know, this was your mess. Like, you have to somehow deal with it anyways. And
sure,
I wouldn't hide it, you know, and whatever, you know, I think at that point you get a lawyer, you lawyer up and just have, sure. You know, you don't say anything, you know, we're working, you know, with the authorities, whatever, you kind of do the regular PR shit. But when you try to hide it and you just try to ignore it, then that's what makes you look like
so let me feed you some more facts of the case. So the news media again was rich white 17-year-old kid racing his Lamborghini kills beautiful young 32-year-old Latina Monique Munoz. That was the narrative. It's put out there over and over and over and over again to piss people off, right? So you have rich, you have white, you have spoiled Lamborghini. First of all, sure, he was 17 years old. He's still a kid. You know what I mean? I was a dumb kid until I was 22, 23 years old, maybe more than that, older than that. First of all, it wasn't a Lamborghini like the race car Lamborghinis that you think of. Mm-hmm. It was an SUV Lamborghini. So it wasn't like he was racing the Lamborghini you see driving down Miami Boulevard. It was an SUV Lamborghini, which is the first thing. It's the first thing they got wrong, right? Then they said, you know, the narrative was, hasn't been arrested. They haven't charged him yet, blah, 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 which went on for like almost 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. But what they also didn't tell you is that that's because he was in the hospital with severe brain damage. And he was pretty banged up himself. You know what I mean? And this is according to reports. Again, the facts will come out. And when they do come out, that's when I'll make my decision on how to really look at it.
Yeah.
But I'm going off of what we know, what has been reported today. What has been reported today is he was in the hospital for almost 2 weeks with severe brain damage. He's been released and has severe brain damage, according to reports. Once he was immediately, people were like, how come he's not arrested? How come he's not arrested? That was the whole thing. Why is he not arrested? Why is he not arrested? Why is he not arrested? Immediately when he got released from the hospital, he was arrested. So to me, there's two groups of people that made this whole scenario really bad. And the only reason I bring this up is because I'm tired of people being angry about things and us being ignorantly pulled into these things without really knowing the facts yet or without really knowing the information behind it. I'm tired of us being angry about shit that we don't need to be angry about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We should be empathetic and sad. And I'll get to that point. But to me, the DA fucked up by not pressing charges immediately. Who cares if he's sick or busted up? Not sick, but rather busted up in the hospital.
He's charged. These are the charges.
These are the charges. When you get out, we're going to arrest you as soon as you get out.
Yeah.
If the DA had did that immediately, then no one would be upset, hopefully. I mean, people would be angry and upset still.
But there's a process in place.
But there's a process in place to say this kid's going to get prosecuted at some layer. We're going to try to prosecute him, right? Yeah. So the DA was the biggest mistake. But also the media. The media positioning it the way they did. You know what I mean?
But that's what I was telling you. It's shock value. You want to be able to, it's ratings.
Right.
You want people to watch you. I mean, Eddie, wouldn't you agree that shock value is what sells? I mean, you know, news outlets want that, you know. I mean, that's why they pitched Trump so much, because they knew that would hit a nerve with people. Those are ratings.
Oh, for sure. Trump was making...
And this kid was sober, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't. We don't have all the facts yet, but yeah.
No, I'm saying he's sober right now.
You saying?
Yeah, so.
You know,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, no one has said otherwise. I would think that if there was substance abuse and that kind of stuff involved, it would have leaked out at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would leaked out. What has been said is that he was street racing with somebody else, and in a Lamborghini SUV. You know, and who knows? Maybe if he was racing an actual Lamborghini car that we think of as a race car, maybe he could have pulled the corner better. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just, all I'm getting at is that the fact that people went after a father for trying to protect his son from the internet mob before he had his day in court was mind blowing to me. Because here's the deal: 99.99999% of the fucking people who are bitching about that father doing that, if they had the money, the knowledge, and know-how, would do the same thing for their fucking kid.
Yeah, but I think you just break it down to logic and you say, you know what, talk to my lawyer. Yeah. You know, we're working with authorities. We're doing this. We're doing that. But when you kind of like hide it, obviously that was the fact.
That's not hiding it though.
No.
Not really hiding it. The news is we're still reporting on it. All he did, the news, KTLA5, all this, we're still reporting it. All he did was so that when you search for white kid, blah blah blah, whatever, you're not gonna hit that search. It'll be like 2 pages down.
Yeah. So how's that not hiding it?
It's not, dude.
Okay, so
you wouldn't do that for your kid?
No. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay. So, but again, it's a simple question. You wouldn't do that for your kid if you had the means and know-how to do that for your kid, and you know how the internet is today. The internet is the biggest bully in the world.
Yeah. So like I said, you get a lawyer, and you just
the lawyer's not going to stop the internet from coming after your household.
No, but they're gonna come at you anyways. So don't right. Like, because they went up to go talk to him.
That was way after the fact. That was after they found out about him.
Exactly. But then he tried to defend himself. You don't do that. Just get, you know.
He didn't defend himself.
No. He tried to, like, you know, not defend himself, but kind of give his version, or, you know, it's like, you know, we're I'm gonna tell you something else.
That's gonna hopefully will make you think a little bit different about this. What people don't know is he had already settled with the family monetarily. He had already reached out and said, "Look, I know money's not going to bring back your child. I'm
this
sorry,
is what I want to do.
But this is what I want to do. I want to pay for the funeral, and I want to give you X number of millions of dollars right off the bat without even going to court." Mm-hmm. Okay? So you tell me what kind of person, what kind of human who knows they can go through a legal process, and he's probably still going to get sued for hundreds of millions of dollars, is going to reach out to a family and say, "Look, my son fucked up. I'm sorry. And I want to do everything I possibly can. And here's millions of dollars. And I know money's not going to make it better, but at least you can grieve and not have to worry about money."
Yeah.
Millions of dollars. No one's talking about that.
No, and he brought it up. I mean, he said it. You know, he said that he had reached out to the family. So that, I mean, I know that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that.
See, I still don't get how you can.
Oh, I'm not on either side.
Yeah.
No. Like I said, for me, like, yeah, of course you protect your child no matter what. But the thing is that there's ways to go about it.
Lawyers are not going to stop the social media piece, though.
No, they're not. Nothing is. I mean, you could be the nicest person in the world. You're still going to be a piece of shit in somebody's eyes.
There's been people that have been doxxed, which is what they did to him, which is basically find out who he is, where he lives, all that stuff, that have been murdered.
Yeah.
Multiple people.
You're not going to stop that. But what I'm saying, the PR look, and, you know, it's like you can try to work something out. Like he tried to do that with the family. I know that he tried to do that. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's up to the family and to him to get to agreement of something.
Yeah.
But once the story's out, it wasn't even the accident itself. It was the fact that he tried to hide it. That became the story.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the fact that people got upset about that, out of all the things that happened in this story, the fact that people got upset about hiding a Google search was insane to me.
Yeah.
It was the smallest fact of the entire thing. You know what I mean? The story was out there. He had already helped the family out a bunch of shit. So what I just couldn't understand is the people not wanting to protect their child. I don't get that. And I also definitely in my heart of hearts truly believe that 99.99999% of people who had the money and ability and know-how would do the same thing for their fucking kid. Just because you don't have the ability or the money or the know-how.
Well, I mean, it happened with, you know, that Jesse James Hollywood. You know, his parents knew.
Oh yeah,
and they helped him out. They knew where he was the whole time.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, if you have the money, you're gonna do what you can to protect your child to the extent. You know, I mean, like I said, when you break it down to Hispanic families that don't have the millions of dollars, but their kids are cholos, they're gonna say, "No, mi hijo no es cholo."
Exactly.
You know, is he here? You know, PO comes knocking at your door. No, he's not here.
Yeah.
You know.
So I just think people are easily influenced, though, is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I mean,
especially Mexicanos, man, we're easily influenced over some dumb shit like that. Like, I'm like, dude. Not that it's dumb. Again, man, I want to be very clear. Like, and I said this very clearly. That kid should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law if he was street racing and he killed that woman senselessly, he should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, and that's what he deserves. Now, people also have to understand something, and this is what I'm worried about. He's a minor. He has the money in his family to buy the best lawyers in California. He's probably not going to do any time.
No way. He'll get like involuntary vehicular manslaughter. He'll get some,
Slap
he'll
on the
get some
wrist.
fucking, some DUI classes, like reckless driving classes, shit like that.
Yeah.
That money can go a long way.
Yeah.
I don't see
what I
that
mean?
kid doing much time or anything, unless
And then now that he's, has brain damage,
it's even worse.
yeah, what are they going to, I mean,
So that's what his family said. So that's the one thing, by the way. That's the one thing. Again, I am also in the middle here. You know what I mean? Because I absolutely feel for her family and her, right? Like, at the end of the day, I look at this entire situation as a shitty situation. No matter which family you're in, it's a shitty situation, right? And it's a tough thing, right? And that's why, like, I asked a question on Instagram. I posted on Instagram. People were like, holy shit, this is a tough one, And I said, yeah, because why wouldn't you want to protect your kid? But also, if it was my child, I'd be like, hey, I'm going to help you out as much as I can as far as being destroyed by the internet mob. But you're going to do your time for what you did.
yeah.
You're going to pay back what you took from society. And when it comes to crimes, the court of law will figure that out for you. You know what I mean? But it's just a shitty situation, man. There's no other way to put it. It's a tough one. I mean, I just was shocked at the I don't want to say ignorance, but shocked at the fact that people didn't put themselves in the father's shoes. They immediately were angry that he was rich and he was white. And that's what they were angry at. It's almost like, how dare you kill somebody because you're rich and you're white?
There's levels to it,
Yeah.
But
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We know cholos that are murdering people in the streets every fucking weekend, and no one's saying, how dare you protect your cholo kid when he's in court? You know what I mean? By sending them fucking care packages and shit. No, we just don't go through that. Whatever.
So I see Eddie's falling asleep over there. Can we ask him a couple of questions from your followers?
Please.
I think you have them over there.
I have a bunch of questions from the followers. We're probably not even there yet, though. I was gonna say those for the end, right?
I don't know. Let's throw some in there. Just give them a couple.
We can.
And first of all, I just want to apologize to everybody listening right now that Eddie and I are not talking shit to each other. I mean, I think we just kind of did that just to get you guys here. Now that you guys are here, now you guys get to hear us be civil.
Nah, I want to hear some shit talking though.
I can. I'm looking at him. I can't talk shit to him if I'm looking at him.
I'll talk shit to both of you. These guys are so dark, bro. These guys are darker than 12:02 a.m. Both of them.
What are you talking about? This is the tan people pay for. What are you talking about?
We just hooked them, got them here, took their money, and they get no fucking show.
If you buy the high end tanning lotion, it says my name by the color, so it's actually perfect.
It says 80 kilo 19. All right,
right.
before we go there, because we got questions coming up.
Yeah.
But Eddie is a big UFO guy. Right, Eddie?
Yes.
Eddie's
Absolutely.
big on UFOs. I don't know do you know this about him?
No, but honestly, like I am too. Like,
oh, really?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I've never. So there's two stories that I've told like to my kids, and they laugh at me because they're like, "Yeah, right. I fucking saw it. To me, it's real. It
Oh,
happened."
you saw UFO?
Yeah.
Eddie, let's listen to this guy's UFO story. See?
in Santa Barbara.
Did you really? Both you guys? How come I haven't seen a UFO? What the fuck? All right, tell me your story. I want to hear
All right,
this.
so we had gone up to it was a youth group. We went up camping to Camp Whittier or that little area, the old science camp area.
Yes.
So we're there. Yeah, we're there. We're talking, and there was this one guy. His name is Jesus, and he was here from Mexico City, and he was telling us how he could, he felt like he was being followed by them. He was telling us all this shit. And we're like 13, 14 years old kids. We're kind of like, oh shit. He's telling. This is like we're right at the campfire, so we're listening to this story, and he's telling us about how he has seen these in Mexico and how he feels like they follow him and all this bullshit. And I don't know if you remember science camp going up there, but there was the 10-mile hike, and you get up to the top, and there's this antennas with the lights. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So we're there. We're
it's
down
not 10 miles, by the way.
No bullshit, but but that's what they called it, right? The 10-mile hike. So anyway, so we're down there, and all of a sudden, there's this fucking light glowing right from where those towers are, and we're tripping out because now, like, I look at it, and then like a couple other kids are looking at it, and then you see that light move, and then it comes towards, like, down towards, away from the antenna in front of the mountain. And we're like, dude, like, there was no fucking drones. This is like 1992, 93.
Yeah.
And this thing's just like hovering over the mountain. Like,
how big was it?
Well, from where we were, it maybe looked like the size of like a bug, like a VW bug.
Oh, so it's pretty big. Okay.
Yeah. And it's just like this orb, like this light, like, and it was just like kind of going around the antennas. And then you just see that shit fly out.
That's crazy.
So that to me, it was like, okay, like, it fucking tripped the shit out of me. That was the first time I saw it. The second one that I saw, I was driving back down from Pismo, and it was around maybe like 3:00, and I'm on the phone with Satu, my brother, and I'm telling him, you know, like, we were shooting the shit about something, and I look over and I'm like, oh shit, and I tell him like halfway through the call, I'm like, oh fuck, like I see these two weird lights, and they were just like glowing in the sky, and they were kind of like floating around, like kind of moving around, but not normal. And then same thing, they kind of just, you know, shut off.
Right.
And I at first I reached out to see if it was glare on the window was down the whole time. So
Eddie, tell me so you said you saw a UFO in Santa Barbara too?
Yeah, we're chilling up on APS, and then, you know, got that nice view of the ocean and stuff like that. And then there's this light, and then it separates, like it like broke off into two. It kind of just, the two aircraft or whatever they're called just kind of were there. They joined back into one, and the light just disappeared. And I'll tell you what, like our technology cannot do that. Okay, it's the same thing with now they're going to release. You remember the Navy pilots? They saw that craft and they're like, "What the fuck is that?" You know what I mean? And I guess they're going to release some like official bullshit report. But these are Navy pilots, okay? These guys, I mean, we have like the best of the best. These guys aren't delivering Panda Express for DoorDash, okay? They're fucking naval aviators. These are some of the best in the world.
Commander Brayburn, man.
If I'm going to take a word from someone, you know, about the legitimacy of, you know, that's not our stuff, I'm going to listen to them. You know what I mean? The government just, they don't have to even, we don't need the fucking full story. Just say we're not alone, and everyone will take it pretty well.
I think we all know that.
Well, the guy you're talking about, Commander Brayburn is his name, Eddie. Is one of the guys, and he's like a very decorated pilot. It was one of the first guys to come out from the Navy and say, hey, we saw some shit out there, and it's concerning to us because what I saw was like this object, it looked like a Tic Tac, I think, like flew into our airspace, basically like stopped immediately, looked at us, like, hey, what's up? Just to make sure that we want you to know we're here, and then took off a different direction and took off like within like milliseconds, was like within, you know, milliseconds, like thousands, like not thousands, but like, you know, 30, 40 miles away, and then back to him again real quick. And he's like, what the hell is that? Like, you know, our physics, it defies our physics, right? It defies what we know as physics today. And it wasn't him. I think Commander Brayburn was one. There's another guy. I forgot the other commander's name, but there was basically like really highly decorated people who were like, you know, we weren't going to release this, but it was released accidentally. So now they have to talk about it. Right. So now, there's a bunch of reports now, multiple reports now of Navy pilots seeing these. And what's crazy is a lot of them are right here in California, and a lot of them are over by Miramar, which is like the Marine base out there. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, if you ask me, let's take a step back. So, have you heard of Bob Lazar, Jaime?
No.
Okay, so Bob Lazar, Eddie, you're very familiar with Bob Lazar.
Yes.
So he's a guy who reportedly worked at Area 54. Is 51 or 54?
51.
51. Area 51. Where did I get 54 from?
Studio 54.
Studio 54. I'm always in party mode.
I know.
But so yeah, Area 51. So he reportedly worked there, and there's proof that he did for a period of time, where they would fly people in from the desert into that place and they would work or whatever. These are like all aeronautics, space engineers, that kind of stuff, right? And when he was there, he described a bunch of stuff that was going on there. He says, you know, one of the first things I found, which was crazy, was they had like this sort of kind of like antimatter that was like anti-gravity in a sense. And it was so powerful that it defied the laws of gravity. And he believed that that's what space UFOs using their spaceships to be able to defy the gravity that we know today.
Yeah.
So But he describes it, and you listen to the guy, and at first you're kind of like, this is some crazy shit when you hear about him. But you listen to him talk, and he goes, oh, he's actually kind of making sense like that. Like he doesn't sound like a nut job. He doesn't sound like the guy who's like, oh my God, and like, freaking out. He just sounds like a very kind of well thought out guy. He's been on the Joe Rogan podcast once or twice already. And if you guys want to listen to him, he's on Amazon Prime and I believe Netflix as well. But there's documents out there about Bob Lazar. It's spelled like laser, Lazar. Well, spelled like Lazar, not laser, but Bob Lazar. But anyways, if you watch it, it's kind of crazy. And there's this documentary guy who's a really popular documentary guy that goes through with him through the whole thing. And so, if you ask me, I think there's probably propulsionary systems out there that we don't know about. So to give you guys an example, right? You guys know the Blackbird, the original SR-71 Blackbird, right? The big stealth fucking bird that used to fly very high. It was like the modern B-2 bomber, but it flew with the cusp of space pretty much, I mean, if you think about it for a second, the plans for that were drawn up like in the 50s. It was flying in the 60s. I mean, it was flying pre-Vietnam. You know what I mean? So, and it was doing missions, right, around the world, and no one knew about it. I mean, that was the first stealth technology jet we had out there. And if you look at, I've actually studied what it took to make that plane happen, very intensely and very deeply, because it's an actual very motivating story. What they did to make that happen. It's crazy. So anyways, if you think about it, like, we didn't even know about that. It was flying for like 30, 40 years. We found about it during
at the tail end.
Desert Storm in Iraq, right? Which was like the late 80s, early 90s. So
no, like early 90s, yeah.
That's when we first found out about that airplane. So think of how many years it was flying, extremely new technology, no one knew anything about. No one had no idea what fucking stealth was, right? So God knows what they have today. God knows what they've designed or have found. Or if you're a conspiracy theorist, UFOs have given us technology, whatever it may be. Like, if you ask me, all these sightings that we've been seeing have been happening in areas where there's military. And so while I believe that there's 100% life in the galaxy and the universe out there, we can't be the only ones. We know for a fact in Mars, it looks like now we know for a fact that there was some kind of life there when there was water there. From what I read recently, that could be wrong. Don't fucking fact check it if you want. But I had read some recent report that like it looks like certain rock formations in Mars now. We know it looks like there was life there at some point. Kind of like how we see sedentary kind of fossilized stuff, So anyways, but that's what I had read like a week ago. I'm no scientist, so don't quote me on that. But in any case, the vastness of the fucking universe and the galaxy, right? If you look at it, of our galaxy and the universe, we can't be the only ones. you know what I mean?
So I actually have a question for both of you guys that RJ asked me over the weekend. So if there's no oxygen in space, why is the sun burning?
If there's no oxygen in space, why is the sun burning? It's a good question. Google it. I'm sure there's a good answer for it.
Eddie?
I don't know. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's an actual
maybe the core is
it's
the
radiation.
Core of the sun so intense.
So
it's radiation. I'm not sure that's actual burn. It's like kind of radiation, but who knows? I mean, that's a good question.
So there's no atmosphere. How's there solar winds?
How's there solar winds? That's gravity. Because you're not carrying, it's not like wind.
Yeah, so
it's matter.
Exactly.
It's matter moving through gravity. Yeah. It's different.
But it's all in the wording, and you could, like, what the fuck?
What the fuck, yeah. So all these things so here's the crazy thing though, right? So for whatever reason, during COVID, like we had all this COVID scare, right? And during COVID, like the government officially released Pentagon saying, there are UFOs in our airspace and we don't know what they are. And nobody paid attention.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what was it? The pilot that announced it.
Think about that for a second, though. How crazy is that? The Pentagon literally told the entire world there are things flying within our airspace here in Southern California that our commanding pilots saw, described, and have on video. And they released the video to the fucking world and said, we don't know what these are. So.
That's COVID.
It gets deeper, though. So Trump, right? When Trump passed the COVID relief bill that he passed, the very first one, right? Where everyone got their first $600. And this is what Eddie was talking about earlier. Part of that bill is that within 6 months into 2021, the CIA and other 3-letter agencies have to fully declassify all the unidentifiable flying objects that they know about and all the information about them. Because we found out very quickly after that this has been going on for a long time. And there's two things that could be going on here that I think people at the highest levels, which is like talking about. So you can think about like the government, right? It's different levels, right? People in Congress, right? These people are like, hey, we need to fucking know this shit. You want money for your black budget? You want money for your CIA budget, black budgets? Cool, we'll give you trillions, but we want X, Y, or Z for that. And so what Trump's administration did is they wrote it into the bill that said, hey, we need to have all your information across all these letter agencies about whatever unidentified flying objects in our airspace that we don't know about. And because it's a national concern, security concern. So there's things that are flying here that are way more capable than we could ever even compete with that we don't know about. And that's terrifying to people.
Yeah.
Because it could be UFOs, or it could be fucking Russia, or it could be black budget, things that are going on
super secret
shit that are going on that we don't know about. And so the Congress is like, no, we'll give you that money, but you have to declassify this. So what people don't realize is like it could come as early as June, but in the next few months we're gonna get a lot of information. It's gonna start leaking out information about what these things are, and I have a feeling it's gonna be like super high level military secret shit, kind of like we had the Blackbird release, and then we're gonna see like the next level shit. You know what I mean? Like, what is this now? Whatever that means for propulsionary systems, I don't know. It can't. I don't think it can be human flown because the human body can't absorb those kind of G's.
Will Smith did it.
It can't be. So it could be like drones. It could be like a mechanical thing. It could be a lot of things that we have that people just aren't even considering, right? I mean, I've thought about this. I mean, don't ask me how. I mean, maybe a little bit of hippie grass helped me out, but
it's probably our stuff. I don't think aliens. Why would aliens want to come visit us? We're a fucking disaster as far as if we are some type of experiment or whatever. You want to go there? I mean, that's just us playing with our toys.
And I think that's what I was telling RJ is that we're somebody's fucking ant farm.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, I mean, come on. If you were an alien and you were like, imagine if you can fly here. In other words, if there was a civilization of beings out there in the universe that could fly to us, they're already super advanced.
Yeah.
They probably look at us like the reality TV show of fucking VH1 hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? These guys are Jersey fucking Shore. Ghetto. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to check out on my Snooki right now.
Yeah. We're like the Snookies of the fucking galaxy. You know what I mean? It's like, why would you come here to see this shit show? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I personally think that it's going to be some super, black book secret shit that we have going on. I don't think they're human piloted. They can't be. The human body can't take those G's. If you watch the G force test that pilots go through, those things are insane. And you can only get so many G's, you know what I mean? And what these pilots are reporting, and that's why the pilots were concerned, because they were like, hey, this is national security. Whatever this is can take me down immediately. I have no choice.
Yeah, no defense for it.
No defense for it. So that's why the Congress said, hey, for national security purposes, we need to know what that is.
Yeah.
Is that Russia? Is that China? Or is that us? So we're going to find out pretty quick here, I think. It's going to be crazy.
We can circle the whole month of June.
Well, they say as soon as June, but they're going to lag on it. They'll find ways to pull that back.
I mean, weren't we supposed to find out who killed Kennedy too? Like a long time ago?
No, I think it's coming up pretty soon.
Is it too?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 50. It's when he was shot in the 60s.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think
it was last year.
50 years, right?
I think it was last year.
I don't think we're going to get who killed him, but we're going to get a whole bunch of information that'll kind of link us to
some of the stuff came out, but it was, you get a fucking paper and it's
all redacted.
Black, yeah.
Yeah, that's stupid.
The mafia whacked him, but that's it.
It's fucking Joe DiMaggio because he was fucking banging Marilyn Monroe.
We know who killed Tupac now. And we know who killed Biggie.
Who?
So there's a lot of really good documentaries out there about who killed Tupac. His name was
was it that cop?
No, it wasn't the cop.
Orlando
Lane. Huh?
The guy who shot Tupac?
Yeah, Orlando Lane.
Orlando Anderson.
Anderson. There you go.
Well, he was a cop. No, he
wasn't a cop. He was a Crip. So what happened
That's
is,
what I meant.
yeah, there's a whole
Crip.
story.
Gangster.
Cop, Crip, whatever. They're all the same. Cop, see walking over there. No. I mean, there's a whole bunch of documentaries out there that good ones now, like 2 or 3 of them that came out where they actually found the murder weapon in Los Angeles, buried in one of the Crips' backyards. But it was never. It was like put in evidence and then lost.
Yeah.
But so it's a simple tragic story from what I mean, I'm boiling it down to something simple, but basically like that guy Orlando Anderson punked him and his friends. Crips punked another death row guy for his chain in L.A. And then when Tupac and Suge found him after the fight, the Mike Tyson fight in Vegas, they jumped him and beat up him and his friends. While Orlando Anderson and his friends got in their car, found them, shot him, and killed him. That was basically it. It was a back and forth. A bunch of guys from Hollywood well, actually, they weren't Hollywood. Those guys were real gangsters. You know what I mean? So they were real like Bloods and Crips. And so that's like the whole story there. And a bunch of people kind of confirmed it. And there was all kinds of stuff that people were talking about. And then it turns out that like the whole Biggie thing, Biggie was just collateral damage. Like literally, he was literally collateral damage because people thought that him and Puffy put the hit on Pac. So Biggie didn't have to die, unfortunately.
So then Pac's not in Cuba.
Pac's definitely not in Cuba.
Fuck.
Pac's out there fucking singing with the angels, man. But yeah, Orlando Anderson. Yeah, there's a bunch of documentaries now. There's about like 3 or 4 of them. A couple of them
because Tupac tried to be a gangster. He wasn't a gangster.
That's
true. You know what I mean? He hung out with a lot of them, but this Orlando guy who shot him, I mean, this guy is the real fucking deal. This guy will die. He'll fucking do life without parole. He don't give a fuck how famous you are. You know what I mean? You know, I even saw some video on YouTube. You know, I watched, just random shit. And the gang that Orlando's from, they really don't speak too highly of Tupac. You know what I mean?
Right.
They got this guy's back to the fullest. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, because they fucking jumped her. I mean, they were doing. Tupac was doing gangster stuff. But with that said, Eddie, it's one thing to be very that I always tell people when Tupac died. I think he was 23 years old. If you listen to his music, he was smarter than most 50-year-old men. You know what I mean? He was preaching very what's the word I'm looking for? He was preaching things to people that would cause a movement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he was doing it from a very young age. And the reason why that people don't understand is his mother, Afeni Shakur, and his godfather. His godfather was the leader of the Black Panthers. Okay? He'd been locked up in jail for many years. His grandfather, who schooled him as a young man. His mother was like a female sergeant or something in the Black Panthers. She was somebody. You know what I mean? So he was raised by people like that had the mindset of like, say, a Che Guevara or a revolutionary person. He was preaching revolutionary things. And what people don't understand is that like that guy was extremely smart at his age. He knew what he was doing.
Well, in the way that he spoke, he didn't speak like an angry man.
Right.
He kind of broke it down to you and just like, okay, I could hear it. And the message was strong.
Right. He had a message, and people didn't like that shit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the government was super stoked when he got killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if not, he would have ended up on the FBI list like MLK did. You know what I mean? Or like the rest of the people that the FBI monitored. The FBI was monitoring MLK for many years before he was killed. You know what I mean? That's the one I really want to learn about, because MLK for sure seems government related. There's other really good documentaries about that have came out recently. We're gonna learn a lot in our lifetime, which is kind of exciting and terrifying too, because when that information comes out, I mean, how do the people handle it,
Yeah, binge watch all those shows.
They're crazy.
Martin Luther King was totally government related.
Yeah. There definitely seems like it.
Oh, yeah. And Malcolm X was just a victim of that's what happens when you turn your back on those, really radical, what is it, black Muslims.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You disagree with them.
Yep.
He found out through a couple shotguns.
Yeah. So they'll take care of you.
Yeah, exactly. So those politics.
Hey,
no joke, man.
Random question, you guys. Are you guys vaccinated yet?
Yeah, I am.
No.
Are you?
Yeah.
Fully?
Yeah, both of them.
But you got both. Did you get Moderna?
No, I got Pfizer.
Pfizer?
Yeah.
Did you get any kind of bad effects from it?
The first one, my arm was kind of like sore. Then the second one, I got like at 8:30 in the morning. Around 3:00, I just felt fucking tired, like just fucking done, spent. And I ended up going home about an hour early from work, and kind of just hung out, and I could feel like my body was just achy. Like you could literally like feel it, like all over your body. Like I was like, dude, like I fucking feel something. And then that night it was like I kind of like felt hot, cold, like, but it was like for moments. It wasn't anything crazy.
Right.
And then the next morning, I just woke up I woke up sore, like I had been fucking running like all night.
That's what everyone's doing. People have had I know a bunch of people have had it, right? The vaccinations, and some people are like nothing, no big deal, you know. Got it, no big deal. Some people are like, holy shit, this shit sucks. I'm dying.
No, and I wouldn't say that I was dying. I just felt like really tired. So the next day I was sore, but it would, you know, I didn't feel it anymore after that,
right?
Because I did hear like people like, you know, that their experience was pretty bad. I didn't think mine was. I just felt like sore, tired.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I know people, man, who were just put on their ass by it, who were healthy people, you know. But I also know people who were like 67 years old who were like, no big deal.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit.
I think it just, and I think it's just your body.
I think it's genetics, man. I think certain, like the same thing with the virus, right?
Yeah.
Certain people get really hit by it hard, and some people are like, no big deal.
Yeah. And see, like for me, normally if I get a cold or flu, whatever, like it won't knock me down for like 3 days, 4 days or whatever.
Right.
I'll feel it, but I can still function. I can still, you know, do things. So to me, it was just like, I just knew that, okay, whatever's in there, I just feel it right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't too crazy.
Eddie, did you get it yet or no?
No. How about you?
No, I think I'm gonna let most people try it out just because.
You're gonna get the Johnson & Johnson, the one hitter quitter.
If
Eddie's gonna get the Tyrone Johnson tonight.
He's gonna get that.
the beef injection.
You're gonna get the eggplant injection.
The kielbasa.
So eggplant meaning the fucking eggplant emoji. Got people so see I get canceled for saying something like that.
For saying eggplant?
Yeah, because that's a derogatory term for black people, man.
What is?
Yeah.
Eggplant?
Yeah, you haven't heard that before?
No.
The Italians use it all the time. So you ever watch The Sopranos?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. You know when they say mullion? That's what they call black people? Oh, mullion is an eggplant.
Oh, really?
Italian, yeah.
Oh.
It's a really fucking racist thing to say, but I didn't mean it like that. I mean the eggplant emoji. Just to be clear.
The chorizo.
You're going to get the emoji, the eggplant emoji, Eddie. But, yeah, man, it's fucked up. People use that term. People are so bad, man, when it comes to racism. I don't get it, man. It's
there's
crazy.
A lot of shit that we say that now can be racist, but
just like that, like just saying that, you know, like in a modern sense, being like you're gonna get the eggplant emoji, like the dick, you know.
Yeah.
So weird, man. Fucking. But so Eddie, to answer your question about the vaccine, nah, man, I don't plan on getting it. I know kind of modern technology and stuff like that because I'm not a scientist by any means, but this has just been brought to market really fast. I don't believe it's a vaccine. It's definitely a gene therapy. If you Google gene therapy, that's all you need to know. And so while it's not necessarily modifying your DNA, it is training your genetics on how to deal with the virus. So it's something new. So not you know, and I'm not an anti-vaxxer by any means. Like I'm not anti-vaxxer by any means. But this one is just, I mean, for the percentage of people that are dying from it, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'll take my chances.
Well, see, and the thing is that for me, it's obviously for what I do, where I work, I visit so many offices every day that people are sick there. So, you know, I'm touching doorknobs. You know, I mean, I'm going into these offices. Not that everyone that I visit has COVID, but chances are, I mean, dude, it's a hospital,
right?
You know, and you're visiting doctors' offices around there. So I don't feel unsafe when I go in there. But, you know, if the option was there, I was like, all right, well, I mean, it's just.
See, for me, the reason why I'm also not doing it is because it sounds to me a lot like this is going to be the new flu shot. So you're going to have to get a new version of it to get all the variants next year and next year and next year. And I'm like, nah, I'm cool. Because the reality is what people don't, I said this before, I think in previous podcasts, that people don't understand is that like the modern flu we have today is just a variant of the Spanish flu from the 1920s.
Yeah.
So the 1920s was way deadlier than this flu. You know what I mean? It was way gnarlier. And so the Spanish flu in the 1920s, which was the last pandemic we had exactly 100 years ago, before this one happened, what we have is, you know, you get herd immunity, the human genetics start to build immunity to it over time through generations, and then you're okay, kind of no big deal. That's not to say that people don't die from the flu, but that's people that are like 60, 70. They're sick, they're ill, they're whatever else.
Something else, an underlying,
correct, underlying genetic condition, whatever it is. You know what I mean? We're not going to be able to dodge everything. So if you're telling me I have to take a shot like a flu shot, I've never taken the flu shot in my entire life. I've had the flu once. I had the flu, and that one did put me on my ass. I'll be honest. This was like, it did put me on my ass, but I definitely was sick.
Yeah, you felt it.
I felt it. It was like 4 years ago or so, maybe 3-4 years ago. It was in this house, man. I got the flu, and I had never been sick like that. I had fever, like really bad fever. I wasn't feeling good. I couldn't sleep. I was up all night. You know what I mean? It was an icky feeling, and I was like, damn. And that was the first time I felt old. Cause I was like, damn, man, normally I kick this shit in a couple of days. I'm like, this is with me for like a week, man. I was in bed, you know, like not feeling good. But with that said, like, I'm not trusting of these corporations, because the reality is they're going to make a bunch of money. Like you said earlier, right? Bill Gates is going to make a bunch of money, and then he's on to the next thing. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
I mean, you know, at least for me, I get a donut out of it, right? I mean,
free Krispy Kreme every day.
So fuck you guys.
If you want to wait in line, fuck that.
Hey, I don't give a fuck. It's a free donut.
I can't believe it's crazy about that Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the biggest things about like the corona, one of the biggest like comorbidities is obesity. Like most people who are dying because they're obese or they have diabetes.
Come have a donut.
The two biggest comorbidities from what I had read a couple weeks ago was obesity and diabetes. And Krispy Kreme's is like, hey, if you get the shot, you get a free donut for the rest of the year every day.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's fucking crazy, man.
What time do they close Krispy Kreme?
I don't know. There's one right here.
I know shit. I don't fucking go over there right now.
They're getting warm.
Bathroom break.
The trick about those, you got to have them warm, bro.
So the last time that we
you got to get them fresh, man.
Yeah.
Or else forget it.
They have to be. So
now the trick is put them in the microwave for 10 seconds.
No.
It helps, bro.
No, God, no.
Those are pothead tricks right there.
That's like the tortilla de harina with butter.
What are you talking about?
That's
not
fucking
trick. That's called being Mexican, bro. I eat those motherfuckers
like crack.
Oh boy, I want one now. I haven't had much carbs in like a month, bro.
Really?
Yeah, that low carb life lately. Keto pretty much, but it's not bad, to be honest. I'm shitting like a normal human being for the first time in my life.
Feels good?
It's different, bro. I don't know how to explain it. But
do you stand up or do you wipe sitting down?
You guys want to talk about that poll?
We got there. We're here.
So for those of you that are listening, I did a poll yesterday. It was yesterday. It seemed like it was a week ago because it was so crazy. By the way, it was 2 days ago, and I was really, really bored one night 2 days ago, sitting at home, and I'm bored, and I'm like, I do polls, right? And people love the polls because it's always some controversial topic, something that people want to learn about, whatever it is. And I was bored, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just throw this one out there. Do you wipe standing up or sitting down? And I put the poll out there, and my DMs immediately flooded with like 50 DMs of people laughing and then describing how they shit.
Wow. And
how they wipe after they shit. And I was like, oh my God. Literally, it was literally probably like, without exaggeration, maybe 5 minutes later, it was like 75 DMs of people laughing and then describing how they wipe their ass.
So, Eddie?
How do you wipe your ass, Eddie?
Yeah,
Standing
Eddie.
or sitting?
Oh, I stand, man.
He's like a kindergartner. See? He's like a kindergartner.
That's right.
Jesus Christ, man. Who the fuck stands?
Everything below my waist tightens up and cracks. I need to stand up.
See, man. What about you?
I jump straight into the shower.
Oh, shut the front door.
But Americans need to step their game up. We need to have those toilets like they do in Europe or
the bidet.
I have those here.
Eddie, there's one here.
That's perfect. I mean, it washes everything and
I have one of those here,
waste, man. I guess.
I fucking went in there right now and I thought it was a fucking water fountain. And then fucking Javi says, dude, I just took a shit there.
Dude, I'm going to tell you guys a funny story about my clean lady in the bidet after we talk about this. We'll close out there because it's fucking hilarious.
So how many followers did you lose for that question?
So what's crazy is the poll blew up. It's more than any poll I've ever had. And I've had some serious polls where people are like, people love the polls. It's the one thing I do that they fucking love on Instagram. It blew up and it was insane. And I was like, the next day when I'm going through all the DMs and I'm going through, I'm like, this is what I get. Cause I'm literally listening, like literally the hottest woman in the world is telling me how she wipes her ass. And I'm like, this is not what I want to know about you.
Not like, now, J-Lo.
This
relax.
is so weird. You know? Yeah. Calm down, J-Lo. A-Rod's done. I'm in. But but I'm reading all these messages, right? And I'm thinking to myself, and I sat down and I even posted this later on yesterday. I said, this is not how I thought my Wednesday would turn out. It's reading a bunch of posts from hot women on how they wiped their ass. Like, this is crazy, right? But that poll blew up, man. And so the majority of people that I found wipe sitting down. I wipe sitting down. You know what I mean? And then people came and were like, hey, if I had leg day, like, guys, I pull my balls up and I reach under my balls and I wipe from the front to the back. Yeah. The under scoop. I'm like, hey, so I started naming the different wipes. I'm like, that's the under the ball scoop. You know what I mean? One dude had he goes, bro, if I'm in jail, bro, I wipe sitting. He goes, I wipe sitting down, but I'm at home, I wipe standing up. I was like, well, that's the jail wipe. You know what I mean? Like, so I started naming the different wipes, and it ended up just being a really silly topic, man. And people, like 99% of the people loved it, but I lost a bunch of followers. I probably lost like 80 or 90 followers.
That's because they don't shit.
Or they think their shit don't stink.
Yeah, they can't relate. They're like, what the people shit?
People shit. They're like their shit don't stink. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's cool. I don't need those kind of followers because I lost them and I gained like another 200 followers. So it wasn't a big deal. Like, but it was funny though because as soon as I started posting that and I flooded my stories with people telling me the funny things about them. Like one girl's like, I got T-Rex arms, so this is how I do it. And I was like, she came like, I was like, that's the T-Rex wipe.
She's like, I just fucking wiped my ass against the wall. Stucco.
Bro, I literally laughed so hard yesterday. Honestly, I'm a fat guy and my stomach is sore from laughing so hard yesterday.
Like you did abs, like you're fucking crunching.
I did abs, dude. I did abs from laughing so hard yesterday at that post. And was that your official shit post? That was, dude.
Like you're a shit poster.
That post was so dope. I got tired of its shit. You know what I mean? What was I going to tell you? There was a story I was going to tell you. I put it on the table for a second. We were going to talk about, after the shit post, I said I was going to bring something else up.
We talked about Tupac.
We were talking about shit post, and I said there's something else I was going to bring up, and I forgot. Gosh darn it, it'll come back to me. Anyways, those polls are funny, man. The polls are crazy. They're absolutely insane. And people tell me more about themselves that I think
they want to know.
It's not that I don't want to know, but it's just like, it's crazy. I'm like, they trust me with that information because, excuse me, that's a Scotch burp, expensive Scotch burp. When I get the information and I see the information, I see who votes for stuff. I see who puts in information, so it's wild, dude. I have a blast. It's fun. Make people laugh, dude. I've had 3 people come to me today and say, man, my week has been so terrible because of X, Y, or Z. Yeah. Thank you for making it better.
And it's been a year, right? Because this really picked up. Because you became the quarantine poppy right at the beginning.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah. So
I should get the quarantine poppy back, huh? Nah, because the quarantine's gonna be done. The post-quarantine poppy.
The post-quarantine. But that's what it was because you were Javier.
I was Javier.
And then I shot you the quarantine poppy. And then from there,
I was like, don't whisper.
And that just stuck.
People love it, man. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy, and it's starting to. And the more time goes by, the more it picks up.
Yeah, and I will say that Eddie's fucking stories, his memes, fucking fire.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking Eddie has me busting up throughout the day.
Eddie is the shit.
Yeah, like sometimes I don't want to like it.
I rob a lot of people of them.
It's harvesting.
Yeah. We call that harvesting, man. That's just harvesting.
You're a meme harvester.
As long as you're not covering other people's names.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
there's nothing with throwing a little like comedic element into your social media.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean?
No, you have to.
Oh, some people, Jesus. I mean, I've seen a lot of depressing shit people post. It's like, God damn it, man.
Well, not just that, but then you have people
like a death or something like that, because that's really awful.
Hey, you know what's the worst? Eddie, we've talked about this before. When there's couples, Eddie, we've talked about this before. When there's couples who have like been together for a long time, and it's like their anniversary, and the wife is like, or the husband, both of them, they both do this. Doesn't matter what sex. Oh, it's our 25th anniversary. Oh my God, babe. It's been such a rough road. It sucked. We've been through ups and downs. It's definitely not been easy. The road has been paved with hard intentions. It's been detrimental to my health. Like they go through all these negative things. They go, but I love you and I'm glad I'm with you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're the biggest pain in my ass, but I still love you.
Yeah, I'm like,
Well,
shut the
thanks,
fuck. Now, some people might think that's cute and beautiful, but to me,
Am I really?
I'm like, dude, if my girl did that, I would be royally upset. I'd be like, dude, why didn't you talk about the 5 things that were nice for the year and let's be positive about it? Because all you're doing is inviting the wolves to the den. A bunch of dudes who are reading this shit going, this bitch is miserable.
Yeah,
Let me offer her some
sucks,
dick.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, come on. Can you imagine, dude? I watch that shit all the time, literally every day, and I laugh every day, and I feel bad every day for the person that's being said about.
Well, there's a lot of people that put like a bunch of like, fuck, why me? Why this? Like, this is happening to me. It's like, what about the good shit? Like, focus on the good shit.
Right.
Like, fucking, you'll notice that your attitude's gonna change. It's gonna be good.
Right.
You know, don't fucking be so negative about shit.
And we know relationships are tough. Everybody knows that.
Well, just
right?
life in general.
Life in general is tough, but relationships take work. We know that, right?
Yeah.
But so, like, when it's your anniversary, instead of being all happy about the positive thing, and you can tell the real happy couples because the happy ones are the ones who aren't saying all that shit.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are
post it.
like, babe, I love you. This is amazing. Thank you for a good time. I'm glad you did this for me and that for me and blah, blah, blah. And they put all the positive shit out there. Like, that's probably a happy couple.
Yeah.
It's always the ones, which is like 99% of them, you know.
Flavor of the week ones too.
Babe, I hate when you fart in the bed. Your breath stinks. You fucking suck. You don't know how to run fast. The kids hate you.
You wipe standing up.
Yeah, your wife standing up. Dude, that was one thing. From the white poll, 3 women said, I watched my baby daddy or my husband or my boyfriend. One said baby daddy, one said husband, one said boyfriend. I watched him wipe standing up, and I knew it was not going to be okay after that.
But how did he wipe?
Dude, okay, let's get back to the wiping topic. So when I think of somebody wiping their ass standing up, I think of like my son when he was like 5 or 6, when he's like 3 or 4 learning how to wipe his own ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he's potty training. That's what kids do. They stand up and they fucking their pants and their chonies are down at their ankles and they're wiping their butt and they're arching their back, standing up. That's how kids wipe their butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they learn to wipe. So when I think like a grown ass adult doing that, I'm like, what are you, a fucking kindergartner? Like, so now I'm gonna think of Eddie over here. Eddie's laughing of his ass wiping his ass like a kindergartner.
No, see, but
I hope that image is burned in your memory forever.
Fuck you, Eddie.
you got to add the leg on top of the just to make sure you get it all out.
Oh my
Scoop
God,
it.
dude.
Now, do you scoop forward or back, Eddie?
Yep, like that old man, looking like that old man from the
man.
Family Guy.
Yeah, but do you scoop forward or back? Which way are you going? Back to front or front to back?
Oh Jesus, man! It's really that could really be a multiple choice question.
I think it depends
it's
on
different every day.
Depends on how sore his quads are.
Depends on the product that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, do I want to scoop it?
Oh God.
Do I want to scoop it towards me or away from me?
Insane, bro. Such insane topics. I mean, honestly, like the stuff that goes on this Instagram is insane. And people literally message me every day. Like today was the poop topic. I had counted them and there was 130 people said, thank you for making my day. This is fucking hilarious.
So you mean to say that this wasn't as cool when it was Javier? It's only cool when it's the Torta Whisperer.
I don't know if that's it. I don't know. Well, the Torta Whisperer definitely
because it's just the name. I mean, it's still the same person behind it.
But the name people do laugh at the name. Like they see the name and go, oh, this is hilarious. Like, what does he mean? What is he whispering at? And some people will like ask me for like a definition. I'm like, what do you think it means? Like, have you ever seen the fucking dog whisperer? Like,
have you not had a fucking torta?
And I'm talking about the food and the ones that get out of the club at 1:30 a.m.
Yes.
I'm talking about both. I like both. I appreciate both.
Some more than others
You know what I mean?
sometimes.
Of course. Of course. Gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We're almost at 2 hours. Goes by fast, though.
It does.
Yes, it does.
Especially
when
you're running late. This fucking dude, the Metrolink here sucks ass. Why does
You
it go
took the bus here?
No.
Oh.
Why does it take? Why is it so slow?
The bus?
No, the Metrolink. The fucking
the train?
Yeah.
I think they can only go so fast on the railroad tracks, bro. But the thing is that like on a Friday, it's faster because you don't get traffic.
But today's Thursday.
It's still traffic though. Like every day, like between like 3 and 5, or 3 and 7, it's horrible traffic. In Carpenter right there, it's bad. Man.
Well, no, dude, it just fucking sucks. Because I'm telling you guys, I'm almost there, and I'm literally here at the stoplight, waiting for the stupid fucking train.
Oh, you're waiting for that train. Okay, so yeah, so where I live, there's a train tracks right behind me, and where you were at on Thursdays.
I won't say streets.
Don't say streets. On Thursday or Fridays, at certain days during the nighttime, around that time, the train will pass through and it stops traffic for like a good 10 minutes.
No shit.
And you're just stuck there.
And I'm like,
yeah,
what the fuck? And it's going like
it's
slow.
the worst. It's the worst ever, dude. Yeah, and
So-
what'll happen is it'll pull in, and because they deliver cars and stuff, so it'll pull in and then it'll pull back and then pull back forward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that shit's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I could have used the warning on that.
Well, it's not my fault you're running late. Puto, you should have came on the time.
Yeah, stupid Caltrans too. Why are you fixing roads? What the hell?
Eddie,
What's up?
so what's up, man? Talk to me about something. I know you have a million topics in your head.
Oh man, Jesus.
Figueroa
I can't
Street.
really think right now.
Don Q's Pool Club.
Figueroa Street.
Oh, okay. How about this? What's up with that PS5?
Oh,
Oh, I don't know. We're Xbox family, so
so just to get one is really tough, right? So there's a bunch of kids.
Just so I don't have to keep lying to my son's face. We're getting one soon.
It's pretty dope, man. It's pretty cool. But I mean, it's
No,
not like
no. What I mean by that, I'm sorry. What I meant by that is
you wanna
like,
get
what's
one?
the holdup? with
Okay.
that?
oh the hold up on
Go
it?
to-
Okay, so
go to Soul Links on Twitter, and Soul Links drops the links every day. If you go right now, if you go to Twitter, look up Soul Links, SOLELINKS. They
okay.
drop the links every like 5 minutes or whatever. They're actively looking
right.
at the places that have them.
It's deeper than that, man. So there's a bunch of kids who made literally like hundreds of thousands of dollars on it because they wrote bots that are out there scanning like
Yeah.
Walmart, Target. Every few seconds they scan them for this thing, and once they find it, they immediately pick it up, and they pick it up from like a programmatic way. So they're not doing it through the web UI, like they're not putting and clicking on a website. It's doing it like on the back end with code. And so these kids and people were all upset. This is why you can go buy one for like $800, right? If you really wanted one, you can buy one for $800. It's almost twice as much as you can pay for it, right?
Yeah.
But people were all upset, like, oh, these stupid fucking kids. Now my kids can't have one for Christmas. Fuck your kids. Why don't you figure out a way to be smart and make some money?
Yeah, huh?
Good for these kids. I'm glad these kids are out there figuring out how to make money. You know what I mean? Like they're making buku bucks.
But then
So-
you do have some like companies that will go ahead and drop like I know what is it, Undefeated, like with the brand. What they do is they'll do like a drawing, and they kind of like they'll filter down and they'll make sure that it's not a bot, and then you get the opportunity to buy whatever
Right.
they have. Now,
But they're charging extra though.
no,
Oh, they're not?
no,
Oh, I thought
It's-
they were.
you just buy it. You buy it at cost.
But the reality is that the as soon as the stock goes up, it goes away within seconds.
Yeah.
So me, you know me, I'm a tech guy, right? I work high level technology for many years now. So I looked into how to get one, and I quickly found that there's services out there that you can plug into that will text your phone as soon as stock drops. Even then, man, for like 3 weeks, every day stock would drop, I would jump on immediately on my phone, on my laptop, both go to the same time trying to get one. I got the PS5 into my fucking cart like 30 times. And as soon as I went to go pay for it,
Gone.
sorry, it's gone. I'm like, God, because people were doing the same thing.
yeah,
So there's
Damn.
millions of people around there looking for them, right? My
So-
boss.
I bet you, listeners out there, followers of Javi, can you guys get one for Eddie, please?
Oh, we
just-
can
just-
find him one.
yeah,
Sure.
do
I
not-
got one. But
An
my
ex-
my
an
boss
extra
is no, I could have had an extra one, but I have one. My boss, I call him Quick Fingers because he used the same service I did, but he
Yeah.
was just quicker on his fingers for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
This fool got this man, he's a good friend of mine, got 2 PS5s, an Xbox, and then just got another PS5 recently. I think he got like 3 or 4 of them. But it's just because he sits there and waits. As soon as it comes in, he just refresh. He gets them. And so when he got one, it's funny because I report to him, and there's someone who reports to me on my team. And he's like, hey, which one do you guys want it? And the guy that reports to me had just bought a house. And his wife's like, we ain't got no money to buy that shit. He goes, Javi, you want it? I said, hell yeah, here's my credit card.
Cool.
He goes, Venmo me the cash. When it comes in, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
So that's how I got mine. But but the thing is, you can get them. Honestly, they're really super cool, but you have to buy the right TV. Like I bought a whole new TV for it, because you want the right TV for it, or else you're just not gonna get the best graphics out of it.
How's the hub on it?
What do you mean the hub? The porn hub for Eddie? Eddie's licking his lips right now.
Duh.
Eddie's licking his lips right now. As soon as he said the hub, he's licking his lips. I haven't tried the hub on it yet, but maybe I should.
So there's a story today, KYT, Santa Barbara. Some guy went into GameStop and stole one of the consoles.
Stole a PS5?
They didn't say which one it was, but like half an hour they caught up to him. He was still walking around with the box.
No way.
So he got into a fight with the cashier at GameStop.
Is that the one at Percent?
I believe so, yeah, because they caught him over on Chapala Street.
That one's been there forever. I used to
Yeah.
buy video games there years ago.
They shut the one down in La Cumbre.
Damn. That's crazy. So,
Yeah. So Eddie,
man,
Isn't that whole fucking mall shut down now?
well, there's like 3 stores.
Sears. Sears has been gone for years.
There's like one restaurant.
Eddie used to work at Sears, right? Didn't you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
with all the rest of the deviants.
Eddie used to-
Electronics department.
With Vinny at Sears.
Oh, Vinny. I think
Chavez?
everyone fucking.
Chavez
Huh?
worked there, right? Vinny
Oh yeah, he
Chavez.
was in the shoe department. Tackles.
Tackles
Oh,
worked
yeah.
there too.
Oh yeah.
You bunch of ragtag.
So
fools.
was that prior to you guys' telemarketing?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sears was, I don't know, that was a very interesting place to work. And the people that worked there too, it was just all bad. If the customers knew what kind of people were helping them.
Oh, dude, there was chicks. There was cochinos that were working there. There was all kinds of sexual shit going on in that place, man. I remember that too. I didn't even work there.
You just picked up.
I just
yeah.
had the homies working there. You know what I mean? I just stopped by for lunch. You know, what's up? That
See
place is crazy.
like someone helping out a customer, but you know that that person's like been up for like 3 days and going like, how the hell are you helping a customer right now? You know what I mean?
Saving the customer's credit card information.
It was always snowing in that place.
Huh.
And everybody looks like The Walking Dead around there. Yeah, but it was cool though. We used to go to remember Red Robin used to be right next door.
Yeah.
So I used to I used to go over to the Red Robin, and Victor Inda worked there. Remember that guy?
Dude, that guy ended up with a bad life, man.
Oh yeah, man. And he used to hook up a beer when he worked there, and I used to go back to work. And I worked in receiving, so nobody ever fucking noticed. So you know that was and then another coworker, his sister made at the bakery, so we used to get stoned and get like free goodies and shit. So I had it made when I worked there to a degree.
A bunch of stoners with long fucking coke nuts.
Oh yeah,
hanging
yeah,
out, you know?
exactly.
Wild times, man. I never worked there, man, but just about everybody I know did at some point.
Yeah.
Bunch of cochinos.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool,
it
man.
was all right.
The good old days, man. High school was crazy. So, how much? I was thinking about high school, right? When we were in high school, I was never in class. Like, I think I went to class probably like 50% of the time, if that. Especially after like junior year, I was never in class.
Yeah, but see, you were different. You guys are different crowds. I mean, Eddie was like the 40-ounce crew. Is that kind of like the guys that you hung out with?
Yeah. Eddie hung out with a lot of people, right?
Oh yeah. But I had to go to fucking class because I needed those fucking credits. I even had to go to summer school every year. I came within like Miss Ben Kinney, remember that computer lady?
Yeah.
She failed me, and she goes, "Well, I guess you're not going to graduate." She says, you know, class of '98's not bad, and she actually said that to me. And I graduated, and I saw her, and you know, she gave me like this fake smile, and I was like, "Geez, you guys are assholes. What would you know what I mean?"
She thought she helped you do that. You know what I mean? She's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
because of me."
yeah,
Oh, where's my flowers, Eddie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Some of these kids need those kind of teachers. They need Mr. Rigby.
Oh, Mr. Rigby. Remember his daughter?
No.
Ooh. let's not bring up old shit. All right. She was sweet.
and Mr. Rigby was hilarious. He'd see you. You'd walk by his class, and he's just standing outside staring at you. And he goes, "Oh, are you gonna go get your Mickey's Big Mouse? You're gonna drive your." And then he goes, "Why do and then did he ever tell you that joke? Teachers would never get away with this shit today. He's like, why do Mexicans drive with handcuffs on? for the little chain steering wheels. You know what I mean? I was like, Jesus, are you really saying this fucking joke out loud?
Can you imagine he would go to jail today for some shit like that,
No
dude?
shit. You know who kicked me out of his
Black Lives
fucking...
Matter would be all over that.
Mr. Weber kicked me out of his class.
Oh, man.
I think it was like Swampy was in that class or whatever, and I'm having a conversation with Swampy, and fucking Weber was just not having a good day. And I turn around to say something, I was like, oh, because I'm Mexican? Motherfucker just turns and goes, I don't give a fuck if you're Mexican or you're fucking Chinese. Just get the fuck out of here. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, man, fuck you. But yeah, then fucking like I'm walking out and like, because it was right next to Rigby. Yeah. And like Rigby just standing out there, he's just laughing because he heard the whole shit.
I got kicked out of every class, every fucking class in high school except for one at one point in my life. That was Coach Worker. He's the only one who didn't keep me in class because I was cool. I respected him because he's my football coach. You know what I mean?
Well, you guys watch movies all day.
Yeah, we watch movies all day. But literally every fucking class in that high school at one point or another got kicked out.
Yeah.
I was one class that literally I would come and the teacher would be like, "You ready to stand outside?" I'm like, "Yeah." I forgot what teacher it was, man.
Before you even went in.
Before I went in, she'd, "Hey, you stand outside." I said,
like your desk was outside.
Yeah. No, she'll make me stand outside. I'm like, all right, fucking dunce. I was always in trouble, dude. I was always talking in trouble and some shit. You know what I mean? Just look at our...
Worker used to wake up at 5 a.m. and swim with the dolphins, remember? Yeah. Did he ever tell you that story?
Yes.
He used to sing that song, the Buffalo. Find me a home where the buffalo roam.
Yeah. It was awesome, man. Good times. But I mean, look at our high school, though. Like, I look at let's be honest. When we were in high school, dude, drinking, smoking weed, partying. Like, I was throwing big ass. You guys remember those big ass parties I used to throw?
The Dreamlands and all that stupid shit.
I used to throw the biggest parties. I was friends with the people that were doing that, but I mean, me and Cass were throwing some of the biggest house parties all over the place, man. Like, I'm talking huge parties, man, and we were making buku bucks. It was insane. You know what I mean? Like, my life was insane from the age of from young until now. But
so is that why you had the Honda? Because you had to carry all those crates?
Yes, I had the old school so people don't realize this. When I used to DJ, my first car when I was 16 years old was a 1984 Civic wagon hatchback. It looked like a roller skate. The homies would call it the Johnny Cab from fucking, what's that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Had the Johnny Cab in it. It's a futuristic movie.
Fucking Total Recall.
Total Recall. So they had the Johnny Cabs. It looked like one of those, dude. Vince Hernandez would call it the fucking, what's up with the Johnny Cab, bro? I'm like, dude, that's
the honey wagon.
Dude, there was more puss crushed in that car than any other fucking car in my life, dude. That car, for some reason, and I had a system in it.
That's crazy because if you think about that car, like what you pulled with that car,
yeah,
and what you don't pull with this truck.
Oh, I pull so much with this truck. What are you I'm just kidding. But hey, you know what's funny? What's crazy about that car? You guys remember Kike? Kike, he was a couple years older than us. He looked like my twin. He had a sister that was a redhead. Kelly.
No, that's that dude from Instagram.
What dude from Instagram?
Oscar Miranda.
Ah, fuck you, you're a dick. Eddie, you remember Kike from what's his last name? I can't remember his last name. God, I can't remember his last name.
He was 2 years older than us?
2 years older than us, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I can't remember his last name. But anyways, Kike was like a couple years older than me. We looked a lot like each other. Our bodies resembled each other. We walked like each other. Like, we combed our hair like each other. Anyways, Kike was like another guy. He was always cool to me. Years after I had that car, I went to sell it like a couple years later. And Kike bought it, like for like $1,000 or something,
Yeah.
And I ran into him downtown Santa Barbara at a club one night, like years later. I'm like 21 now. He's probably like 23, 24. He's like, fucking Hoff, man, you sold me a piece of shit. I'm like, bro, the car was a 1984 Civic station wagon hatchback.
Fucking spoke for itself.
Yes. I'm like, dude, it was a hoorah. What'd you expect? He goes, no, it was really a piece of shit. I was like, well, what do you mean? And by the way, we're friends, so he's talking shit. He goes, bro, I was driving it one day, and where your feet sit, like, where the gas pedals are, he goes, the fucking bottom of the car fell out. So he was looking at the freeway.
Oh, Fred Flintstone.
I said, you Fred Flintstone it, bro? He goes, yeah, bro, I was fucking tight. He's like, that car's a piece of shit. And I said, bro, oh my God. The fucking bottom of the car fell out, dude. He said he was seeing the freeway. A true story, dude. I'm at a bar. I think it was like Calypso's, and I'm fucking laughing so hard. I smell my Bud Light everywhere, dude. I'm dying. I'm like, he goes, it's not funny, fucker. He sold me a piece of shit. I was like, dude, I didn't know the bottom was going to fall out. Fucking A, man. That car.
It's crazy if you think about, high school. And I think I talk to more people from high school now than I did then. And it's because of social media. I think you kind of like just reconnect. I think in high school.
That's true. Yeah, I do talk. Well, I talked to a lot of people in high school, but I do talk to a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people that I thought I would talk to.
Yeah.
From high school. You know what
See, because I know that the shit talking like between Eddie and I think we really like, we hit it back in like Facebook, like years back. Cause I remember we used to talk shit. And that's why it's hard for me to talk shit to Eddie sometimes, because like I have to think about like, fuck, have I already said this to him?
Right.
And it's hard because the shit talk between us has been going on for such a long time. I think at one point we were on one post that Satu had made, and it had over 2,000 responses, just us talking shit back and forth. And it was like Satu, it was Eddie, Mariska was on there, like, and these are people that I don't even know.
The homie Mariska?
Dude, I don't.
The bro?
Yeah. I honestly.
That's Vinny's lady, but Vinny doesn't
No,
want her,
bullshit. I think that's Eddie's burner account, bro.
Hey, Vinny's going to get mad at me again because I said that on the podcast. My cousin's been mad at me, dude, for like a year.
I actually spoke to him today.
Man.
He's been mad at me and Eddie for like a year.
Why?
I don't want to talk about it in the podcast.
Well, you know what? No.
He's going to get upset about it again if I bring it up.
So I spoke to Vinny today. I saw him.
My cousin, man.
Yeah.
He
my
got mad
cousin
at me.
Vinny.
My cousin Vinny got mad at me and Eddie. And but here's the funny thing.
He said Eddie's cool people. He told me that today. I
Really?
can quote him.
Okay, so he's still mad at me then.
He's probably something. Because he said, I'm going to call you and I'm going to say, fuck you, Javi.
So here's the funny thing. So me, Eddie, and him have had an ongoing message. Or we had an ongoing message up until about a year ago. Every day, the shit we talk online is not even close to what we talk in that message. If that message got out in the wild, Eddie, we'd all be fucking canceled. Like, we just be talking shit on that message, you know what I mean? It's been like a hidden message between us three for many years now. I used to include a fourth person. I'm not going to say his name, but that person pissed me off, so we moved on, and we had a 3-person message. But it literally every day, like, I've talked to Eddie every fucking day for, I don't know, Eddie, what, 10 years?
Yeah.
At least? I mean, me and Eddie talk every day at least for 10 years. Vinny was a part of that.
Yeah.
And then he got mad at me during COVID. And I'm talking like, we talk a lot of shit. Like, I mean, I'm talking like the worst shit you can talk to a friend. You know, friends talk shit, right?
Yeah.
Got mad at me and haven't talked to him in almost a year. Bummer deal, man.
Yeah.
If you're out there, Primo, I still love you.
Well, he's doing good. I see him.
Good. He's
see him
probably still
often.
riding like 50 miles on his bike and doing triathlons and shit.
He looks fantastic.
Good for him.
He doesn't look a day over 15. Dude, that guy, baby face assassin.
For sure. Yeah.
Like, what do you guys eat?
Hey, it's in our genes, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just in the genes.
Fucking vampires.
You know what's crazy is that he's got white in him, though, so he's half Mexican, half Italian. Vampires. We suck blood. But yeah, I miss my cousin. I love him, man. So if you talk to him, tell him I love him. Tell him to listen to this podcast. And I'm going to talk more shit to him later on.
What's the time marker on this so I can tell him, hey, just go all the way to...
Well, it'll be off a little bit because I had the beginning and end into it, but
okay,
it'll be around 2 hours and 10 minutes.
All right, so like at 2 hours
Vinny
and 10
on the
minutes.
podcast would be badass.
It'll be a little bit more.
What'd you say, Eddie?
Vinny on the podcast would be badass.
Vinny would be amazing on the podcast.
I honestly try to get him on here today.
He's mad at me still, man. Yeah, we'll talk about that offline.
Yeah.
But I love him though. I do love him.
So since the last time we talked, have you unblocked Satu?
I don't know. By the way, Satu is Jaime's brother. And the reason why I don't talk to this guy online is because this fucking cholo will add me and then talk shit to me and then block me.
You guys are Niner fans,
Add
bro.
me back and then talk shit to me again and then block. He blocked me at least like 5 times. And the 5th time I was like, this is abusive. This is like an abusive relationship.
Like I don't think I'm
like
okay with this.
I feel like a battered wife. The fuck?
Toxica.
Yeah, he's a toxica fool. So I'm like, you know what? So I just blocked him. And now every chance he gets, he tells me, "Javi, you gonna add me back? Can you add me back?" No, fuck that. I don't add you for shit. I ain't add him for nothing.
You're like, look, I already have you on our group.
I'm cool.
Take that. Take the fact that you're part of our group right
I'm
now.
cool, dog. There's enough crazy women in this world to be crazy around and have a crazy vato in my life.
Yeah. And then you got Joe Rico.
Joe Rico.
Average Joe's gym.
Getting all buff and shit.
But why is he always at an actual gym? Have you seen that?
No, he has his own gym. He's at both.
No. He takes pictures of it, but he's always working out somewhere else.
Well, yeah, of course, true.
So what's up with that?
Shout out to Joe Rico and his buff nalgas. He's all buff now.
Serio.
What up?
Back freckle.
Yeah, we gotta get Vinny on here though. Let him get mad at me and talk shit. Because he get all mad.
Have him cook though before.
What's the only gym that's open, like Planet Fitness and shit?
Nah, they're all back open
Average
now.
Joe's Gym.
Average
That
Joe's
place
gym.
didn't make a lick of fucking sense. Like on your way out, you can like eat pizza.
I know,
Do
stupid.
they do that over there? They have like pizza day at Planet Fitness.
That I don't know, but Planet Fitness is so whack, dude. Honestly, like I'm gonna say
You
some
go,
shit
like,
that's
Sweat
controversial.
your ass off, and then they give you like 2 greasy pieces of pizza.
Planet Fitness is super gay. Oh my god, I said the wrong thing. I'm gonna get canceled now.
No, meaning like happy.
I mean, as in soft.
No,
And the reason
softer
why
than a wet Q-tip.
you can't, like, you know, when you're pumping iron, right? If you're pumping like heavy dumbbells, right? Like, let's say you got 120-pound dumbbells, you're pumping right. You can't make any noise and you can't drop the weight. Like when you're pumping weight that heavy, like you have to put it down.
Yeah.
It's not always gonna come down gracefully. Like they have this alarm that goes off.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Like it goes off if like you make too much noise or you grunt too loud because it's a safe place. It's where fat people can go to work out and no one can judge them. Well, guess what?
But if you're fat and if you're working out and then they're getting mad at you, doesn't that go against their motto?
It's just for people that aren't really like big gym heads, you know? Like where I want to go to a gym where I want to fucking pump iron. Fucking, you know?
So you want to go work out with a tank.
Yeah, I want to exactly. Like
Yeah,
Tank
fucking
and like
like-
Robert, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I want to.
Bench press.
I built my own fucking gym because honestly, I got so tired of those kind of gyms
Yeah.
where like you couldn't, like, I'm not talking like, it's stupid to throw weight on the ground, period.
How hard
It's
do you
dumb.
grunt?
I get into it good, bro. Fucking, you know what I mean?
How hard?
That was kind of gay.
It was.
All right, moving on.
Planet Fitness, here I come.
I'm going to get canceled twice. No, but Planet Fitness is kind of whack, dude. Eddie, you're right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, come on, dude. But again, look at San Barbara Athletic Club. Like that place has beer on tap.
Yeah.
You know, you play some squash ball and then you get beer on tap.
Really?
You know? Yeah. Oh, dude, that place is awesome. Me and Jacob, man, used to go there all the time because
Right there
Who
by
was
the
it?
DMV.
one of us was smashing some chick that had a membership there. So she would get us in as guests. And we would go play. You know what's funny, dude? True story. Me, Manny, and Jacob. So they have racquetball courts in there, right? And all the white people playing racquetball, right? Squash ball. We're playing squash. Oh, we're playing squash. Oh, you know, super rich, wealthy white people. We'd go in there and play handball, bro. We'd go to the athletic club and play fucking handball.
With a little blue ball.
Yeah, I forgot which one of us was smashing this little white girl that had a member there because it's expensive. I forgot how much back then. It was like, dude, it was like $10,000 a year to join or something ridiculous. It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like that anymore, but back in the day it was. And so she would get us in, and we'd go there like twice a week. And so we would go, we'd play handball, then we would lift, and then we would go have beers on tap afterwards. That place is pretty cool. It's not the same, man. San Barbara's changed, bro. How do you feel about that? Let's talk about that for a second. We'll close this out with this one. I was looking at properties here in this area. So I'm looking at moving properties around. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with money that's invested in the properties I have, right? So I'm looking at properties here in Oxnard. There was a property in Oxnard, too. It was like 1,200 square feet, built in like 1960. Old ass house in Colonia, which is the hood adjacent to where I live. Like it's a hood, you know? I live in the hood, but in a gated community in the hood, you know? But a block over is like the hood. This house is selling for like $500 and some thousand.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So they're gentrifying the area, right?
Yeah.
So I always hear people scream and cry and complain about gentrification. Like they're making it too expensive for us to live here, right? But if you bought here 20 years ago or 10 years ago,
You're making the money.
you're making a lot of money. So gentrification is good for you in a sense, or you and your family. But how do you guys feel about that? Like that's a topic that a lot of people don't really get into, but I think it's something that's important because a lot of people that we went to school with are like anti-gentrification. They're super angry. They're whatever. They're like super anti it. And it always seems like it's an anger towards the white man to me, where I'm like, I'm trying to make money, man.
Yeah.
I'm stoked that it's doing that good.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I can see both sides of it just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you kind of want to keep it to look how it was. But then at the same time, you're also wanting improvements.
Wait, se parece a Tijuana.
No. I'm just saying like neighborhoods that you grew up in. It doesn't matter. It could be
Yeah.
it could be anywhere, you know. But if you grew up like for us, we grew up on Voluntario Street,
Right.
and it looked different then, to what it looks like now.
Right.
And our house, my dad's house, is still probably the shittiest one on the block because it keeps it real.
Right.
But the thing is that I think it's a lot of sentimental value that people are investing into that decision of gentrification. Right. It's like, oh, I don't want somebody to change what I've done. Then don't sell your place.
Right.
If the neighbor sold it, then, it's not. I guess it's hard because it's more sentimental value that people are investing into that statement of gentrification than it is financial. If somebody's leaving, they made their buck. They did their thing. They came out here. They made their money. They invested, and now they're going to pull out their money.
That house that I was looking at. So people that don't know, when you buy real estate, you look at real estate. Like you can tell when the house was originally built, when it was originally sold, what it sold for every time it was sold. So this house was bought in 1960 something for $45,000.
Yeah.
They're now selling it for $500 and some $1,000, right? It's a huge profit. It took many years to get to that point, but it's like, come on, man, it's literally a piece of shit. I hate to say it, fucking someone's gonna find out who I am right next to the hood I live in and go come assassinate me. But it's like a fucking ghetto ass home.
I'm in the gray house.
Yeah, it's in a ghetto ass home in the hood, right? So I mean, housing is getting expensive, right?
Yeah.
I just never understood the mentality of people who are like the gentrification thing. I think there's more to that than I'm giving credence to. So, I think there's one thing to say like that property values go up. That's good for people. Mm-hmm. But I think gentrification is a little bit more than that. I feel like people feel like they're losing their identity, their culture, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? But I mean, come on, let's grow up, man. Fucking things happen. Like Santa Barbara, for instance, where we grew up at, it's not the same city.
No.
Growing up there, man, there was like 20 families that grew up in that city. Everybody knew everybody at some layer, some level. My great-great-grandmother, I just found out that my great-great-great-great-grandmother was married in the Mission in 1854 to my grandfather. So, like, I have generations that go way back. Some people are like, oh, you're not a Brutero, you moved to Oxnard, you're not from here anymore. I'm like, motherfucker, like, blow me. You know what I mean? Like, yes. But that city, going back to like stories that my great grandmother would tell, like my grandmother, my mom, and stuff like that, and like that city used to literally be a town. It wasn't a city; it was a stopover town of a 101 that had lights on it. We had to pull over and stop
on State Street.
Chapala Street. And Chapala Street. So, watching it grow into what it is today, like the last job I had that I was at 2 jobs ago. I got to meet a lot of people that were not from Santa Barbara, but moved into Santa Barbara. And it was like super hipsterville. Yeah. It wasn't like people that I could really relate to. I could relate to them in a lot of areas, but when it came to like growing up in Santa Barbara, I'm like, you guys have no idea. Like this, because it's turned into like a small Santa Monica almost.
I mean, certain areas I can see that.
It's going to be a Venice pretty soon.
No, I don't think so.
It will.
No, I don't think so.
It'll get there.
No, I mean, I think it's going to get to...
Have you seen the jump circles? It's going to turn into a small Venice.
Yeah, those have been there forever.
Yes, but what I'm saying is we don't say it because we're from there. But it'll get there. It's getting there. Dude, it's such a it's a shit show now, dude. No. It's a shit show. It's totally a shit show.
I have come to the realization that I'm like a fucking bitter old man now. Like there's certain shit that bugs me.
Yeah.
Like get off my lawn kind of shit. But yeah.
I don't think what I'm saying is that though.
No, but what I'm saying is like I would have seen some of that stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff that bugs me that I see. But then you also have to realize that there's change happening, and you either go along with
it. It's Hipsterville, bro. It's turned into total Hipsterville.
Okay, so why are you talking shit about craft beer? That's pretty much what you're saying.
There's a bunch of dudes out there in Pendleton that have never chopped a log in their life or gangbanged with big beards that drink IPAs and don't even know how to change a tire. You know what I mean? It's total fucking Hipsterville. It's weird. It's weird.
It is.
It's really weird.
But I think it's just money.
Go to Guadalupe Church during fiestas.
Oh God, no.
It's not even the same thing anymore.
No.
You have a bunch of people there.
There's all kinds of lights inside the church. It's like a club now.
Yeah, it's weird, dude.
Yeah.
You know? So, and for those of you who don't know, fiestas is a big week-long block party that happens in Santa Barbara once a year in August.
It's like so watered down now.
It's watered down now. It used to be fucking amazing, but like I'm saying, it's just... So when people talk about gentrification, I guess I'm bringing this up because Santa Barbara was definitely a gentrified area. But I don't look at it as... While I think it's not home anymore, I decided to pick up and move out.
Yeah.
And when this doesn't become home anymore, I'm going to pick up and I'm going to move out. I'm not going to cry that, oh, they made it too expensive or they made it whatever. I'm going to fucking do what I got to do to get out and be where I want to be.
I was Colorado because I kind of feel like that's where you're taking this conversation.
I'm going to Colorado. I'm going to go hang out with Eddie and grab his butt.
That's right. We'll start a pot farm.
Pot farm. Let's do a pot farm, dude. I'm down. Dude, if I buy the property, we can grow a pot on it, Eddie. You know what I mean? If I buy a few acres, and we'll call it Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar strain.
Area 420.
Area 420.
Something corny like that.
So Eddie, so after high school, I want to talk about this a bit because a lot of people don't know about you. So after high school, you waited a few years and you end up in the military. You end up in Iraq, right?
Yep.
What years were you in Iraq?
March of 03 to March of 04.
So you were like the first wave.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah,
and
they put it in sections like OIF 1, that would be the first tour, and then the second wave of guys, OIF 2, you know what I mean? 3,
Yep.
4, they're just different rotations, and that's how you would identify it as.
And you were like in the tanks, right?
Yep.
So what was your job? I've always been curious about that.
Well, when we first got there, I was driver, but then we had
This fucking guy drove tanks.
I'm telling you, he loves riding tank.
So I got moved to loader, and that's where you know,
Wait,
the big.
You got wounded and then moved to loader?
No, I didn't get wounded.
Oh.
We had a guy get wounded, so I got moved to another tank, and we had to. So that's where I was a loader, and you're basically in charge of, you know, your weapon and, you know, putting the big bullets in the breech of the main gun.
Yeah, so that's crazy though, right?
The turret.
So when you put those bullets in that breech, that's a big explosion, right? Like you got to get the fuck out of the way, right?
Yeah, it has a pretty nasty recoil. But I wouldn't want to be driver anyway, because you would love it, because, you know, I'm just, if, you know, because I'm just too tall to, like, if you're tall, it sucks. It's just that you're so claustrophobic because you're laying.
You're stuck in there?
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So
that's
it's not
crazy.
like a car at all. You have your feet up and your arms up, and it's a throttle. It's not like a steering wheel.
Oh, really? It's a throttle.
Oh, yeah. It's a throttle.
That's a big ass diesel engine too in those fucking things, man.
Yeah, it's a turbine engine. That should, I think that's what planes use.
Yeah, that's what planes use. So trip out on this. So Eddie, right? So Eddie, you and I have known each other for a long time. We were the biggest stupid goofballs, always in trouble kind of shit, right? So when I reconnected with you years later, and Eddie's like, "Yeah, I was in Iraq." I was like, "What the fuck were you doing in Iraq?"
To go get Alex.
Like, I was in there in tanks over there. I was like, "What the hell, dude?" You know. So Eddie, I appreciate you, man. I just want you to know that that wasn't. Most people don't realize the amount of people that went over there and sacrificed a lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? And Eddie's one of those dudes. So just wanted to, on the podcast, man, give you praise and tell you that I love you and I appreciate you. And I know that was a crazy time in your life, you know?
Yeah, all jokes aside.
You know, man, it was the job, you know, and never complained or anything, you know what I mean? You know, I knew exactly what I was getting into, and that's that, you know?
Yeah.
So
just never thought Eddie would be in fucking Iraq in a tank, you know what I mean? Just imagine like all the teachers who talk shit to us, you know? Hey, fuck you know, I'm driving a tank, puto.
Yeah. Fighting for your freedom.
There's some people from every walks of life, and it was like the whole thing was like just trippy, you know, like you have people that have never left the forest. We had I went to basic training with some black dude from like Compton or Watts.
Tyrone.
Never been to the beach. He's never left his block before.
Damn.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, he's just stuck on the block, and
yeah, he was part of a gang family, you know. So it's just a surreal experience, you know, just for all walks of life is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, for sure. It's just crazy, man, to be a young man. So when you were out there, how old were you when you were out in Iraq?
Like 22, 23.
So yeah, so you weren't even really young. There's some guys out there who are like 17, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we have one guy that was 17.
Like 17, 18, you know, but youngsters.
Everyone was like a college dropout, or they came back in.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, because it's not like a draft where they just, you know, swoop you up right after you graduate high school.
Right,
you know, like they did in Vietnam and stuff like that, and you just sit around and wait for your number to be called.
That's crazy, man. So we all went in different paths, and people, I mean, it just blows my mind because like we know a lot of people who went in the military, right? That we're friends with, and it's just crazy. Our generation kind of had a crazy right out of high school experience. You know what I mean? 4 years out of high school, 9/11 happens. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, man. So, but I think a lot of people, Eddie, don't know that about you. Like a lot of people, we grew up, they're gonna hear this and go, "What the fuck?" Eddie ended up in Iraq in a tank. What the fuck? They're gonna go, "Holy shit! I didn't know that." Yeah, well, he was out there fighting for your freedoms.
I never try to, get on the soapbox and let the world know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. No,
I'm proud. They were wrong. I'm proud of everything. But
being a meme maker is more discreet.
Yeah. I'm
fuck the limelight. Person,
so. Hey, so one last thing too about Jaime. So a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of the memes that I post that have my face on them are created by you.
Yeah.
He's like the undercover Torta Whisperer.
The ghost writer.
He's the ghost writer for a lot of the memes. So a lot of memes I just repost. So any of the memes that you see out there that I post, it's just a lot of them are reposts. I typically don't put my name on stuff that I didn't create. If you see my name on something, typically it's because I created it. There are some you'll see, just to put it out there. Recently, I do recycle some memes from years in the past. So I go, I do classic memes. And back in the day, back in the day, I used to tag, because I was an idiot. I didn't know what I was doing. I was tagging my name on everything, even though it wasn't my meme. So, but now it's such good content. So I reposted it from 2 years ago. I reposted this year. So, but most of the stuff you see that is unique or you haven't seen before, a lot of it is either me, and if you see my face on it, that's cut into it or whatever. Usually it's Jaime making those memes. So thanks to Jaime for helping out the Torta Whisperer.
I just need somewhere to fucking shit post, and I can't do it on my own.
See, that's the thing that people always tell me, Javi, you're crazy for posting shit. I'm like, why? Like, people are like, I just post the shit you think about and want to say, but you don't have the balls to say it. Like, and I don't mind doing that. Like,
no, I think it's fun. I think it's a good avenue to kind of put your creativity out there on. I think that you have a good platform. People are out there.
For sure.
They enjoy it. I enjoy it. And, I think it's connected me to a lot more people that I haven't spoken to in a while. And it's kind of funny.
Right. It's been, honestly, man, it's been a big blast. To be quite frank, I started this profile. It started out as just being like me and my kid and kind of like father and son. Been raising my son alone now for almost 8 years. He'll be an adult now, which is awesome. But it started out just being like a father and son kind of profile, just a bunch of stuff about that. But me, like I said, we grew up being jokesters, right? Talking shit, being completely inappropriate guys. And so I started posting memes. People started loving it. People were like, oh, you should do this and that. And then I asked about a year ago, I'm like, hey, what if I turn my account just into a meme account? And people were like, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. And so I did that. And then it's been growing about twice every year. So
that's good.
Yeah. So hopefully we get to about 20,000 this year, which would be awesome.
Yeah, I want to get you on a fucking commercial or something. Get you sponsored. Hey, and I will say that I didn't find them personally, but I saw them, those underwears that you're talking about with the third fucking pocket.
I'm wearing them right now.
Okay, you don't have to show me.
Dude, by the way,
whoa.
If you don't know about these, if you're a man or you're a lady, you want your man to be stoked, there are boxers now that are made. They're boxer briefs that have a pocket for your nuts and have a hole for your dick.
Yeah.
So basically, your dick hangs through this hole, and
but it has its own little pocket too.
It has its own little pocket in there, and then your balls hang in this really softly woven pouch.
Really?
They're amazing.
So, and you know who created them, right?
No.
So they were created by the military. So some
really?
dude, yeah. So Eddie, would you see that that's something that would have helped you back when you were out there?
No, not really, man.
Because I guess the idea was that it prevents
chafing, probably.
Yeah, all the skins touching each other. Therefore, everything's in its place.
Yeah, the chafing's really bad because they give you these tidy. I call them tidy brownies because they're like tidy whities or briefs, and they're made from really shitty cotton. And when you chafe, it's fucking miserable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you need Vaseline or powder or something.
That's horrible.
It just eats your skin raw.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different variants of them now. So if you just go and Google boxer briefs with nut pouch or whatever you want to look for, there's a bunch of them out there. I use a random brand. A friend of mine, a good homie of mine, he told me about them. He's like because he's a chubby guy, and he goes, these are the best things ever, bro. They stop the chafing, they stop all this shit. I was like, dude, because I get up and I walk every day on the treadmill for like 2 to 3 miles every day. That's what I do first thing in the morning. And, you know, sometimes after like a week of doing that shit, especially if you're really sweaty, you get a little chafing going on. So
Fucking raw.
yeah. So I'm like, well, not real bad, but I was like, you know what? This isn't fun. So I was like, I'm looking for like, and I was thinking like, what do athletic people wear? Like, cause I'm going to start training hard, heavy now. Like, what do they wear? And I'm like, oh, they wear like bicycle shorts and shit. You know what I mean? And I was talking, Vinny, by the way, he runs treadmills and all that shit. Yeah. That fool ran a treadmill and his nipples were raw. You know what I mean? Because like the bouncing movement, like it just, you know, if you're doing hard workouts or whatever, it's going to get to you. So then my buddy tells me, he goes, dude, check this out. They're life changing.
Yeah, because I saw you post about it, and then I was watching. So there's this, it's called New Rock Stars, and this guy does like recaps on movies, like in like Marvel and all that shit.
Yeah.
And that the one episode that I was watching was sponsored by that underwear brand, and I was like, fucking, like it's crazy how my mind was like,
so worth it.
Javi. Like I fucking
now,
thought.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If your dick is little, they're probably not for you. You got to have a decent sized dick for these. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be honest. You know what I mean? Because you know, I can imagine like your dick would slip out of that hole. You know what I mean?
It just go snuggle back into the nutsack.
Snuggle back into the nutsack. So you got to have some dick, and you know, thank you, God.
You have to get the extended pack.
Yeah. But these boxers, God, how do we get to this conversation? But these boxer briefs they're dope, man. I swear to God, man. I swear, like your balls sit like in a little heaven of like clouds. Is what I'll call it. You know, it's just super soft. Like that part of it's really soft. It feels like silk almost. And then the part your dick just goes in and falls into this hole. And then, you know, like, cause you know, if you wear like boxers, whatever, there's a hole in the front so you can pee through it. This, instead of having there's a hole, your dick's through the hole already, but there's like a hood over it. So you just pick the hood up and your dick falls out and then you pee and then you put the hood back over your
So
dick.
it's like hanging on a fucking guillotine the whole time.
Kind of. It's weird, man. Yeah, it's weird, but it's amazing, man. It's life changing. Seriously. It's so amazing.
So followers out there, I actually just got a picture of it right now. So I'll send you guys pictures of Javi's junk later.
Yeah. What we should do, honestly, man, I got to find a way to monetize this freaking profile. Pay for this kid's college, you know what I mean? So
just get that underwear brand.
Well, what I'll do is I'll just get an affiliate link and post it on my Instagram. Like, hey, if you guys want
these are the underwears I was talking about.
These are the underwears I'm talking about. And every time you guys buy it, I'll get like $1 or something.
Promote, fucking hashtag.
It's got to be somewhere.
Suave Javi.
I've made zero money. I spent so much on this thing and time on this thing, but honestly, I just enjoy making people laugh. And
I'm surprised you're not like Fashion Nova Javi yet.
Nah.
Did that fucking wave already pass?
I would rather everybody donate $1 a year.
To you?
Yeah. I mean, if I can get my 12,000, almost 13,000 followers to donate $1 a year, I could put my kid through college.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Wait, what do the shit posters Eddie and I get out of it?
I'll buy you guys a bottle of scotch and we'll laugh about the old days. But I mean, honestly, think about that though. Like, you want to go through the questions?
You want to do like one or two?
We can if you want. Here, I'll give them to you.
I don't know what you want to ask.
These questions are kind of crazy. I mean, these were ones that came through. So, guys, I dropped a question to my Instagram followers, you know, before I do podcasts and say, you know, what do you want to hear about? What do you want to talk about? Here's some of the stuff that came in today. Okay, here goes one for you guys. This is for everybody to answer. The first question is, who has the most experience with the ladies?
Oh, that would definitely be Javier right there.
Yeah, for sure.
You think?
So,
I don't know.
The fucking Honda hatchback?
So many chicks got beat in that 1984, bro.
The Honey Wagon.
High school was fun, dude. The 90s were fun. Girls were just, you got to understand, in the 90s, women were just getting their sexual freedoms. If you really think about it.
And then you took them all away.
I was gonna enjoy
you were the guide.
I enjoyed all those sexual freedoms.
You were the guide. Here, let me guide you through this.
Here's the path to your freedom.
Going through this door, exit that one. Next.
Next. Let's see here. Okay, some of these are like so okay. You guys are okay with there's some X-rated stuff on here. You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know some, you know, don't want wives and shit to get upset. Some of these don't even make sense because they're just like written completely wrong. This one says, "How do you feel about girls who squirt?"
Like what? Like a gun?
I mean, you want to take that?
Super soaker, super soaker.
I'm a water balloon kind of guy.
I'm gonna say this about that. As a man that is very prideful in his ability to make most women have hooked up with squirt. I feel like it's a new thing. And there's definitely a technique. There's 100% a technique to make it happen. But I don't remember women. I lie. I absolutely lie. I remember like 1 in like 10 women squirting, you know, in the 90s. But like today, like most women are just gushing out there. And I don't know where that's coming from. Maybe they're just more confident in themselves. Because it takes a lot of
it's quarantine too. I mean, fuck.
Nah, it's been before quarantine. I think it takes a lot of confidence and a lot of self kind of like awareness to do that, you know? And I think it's confidence. I think confidence is a big thing.
And more of a sexual freedom.
Yeah. So I think women today are very much more in tune with their bodies, maybe. Yeah. And there's a whole debate about whether that's actual like female ejaculate or if it's pee.
Yeah.
I personally think it's a little bit of both.
Like R. Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. God, some of these are so. You people sending the weirdest shit, but I'll ask it. Why not? Okay, guys, I'm gonna let you guys answer this. Will you have sex with a woman on her period? This is, by the way, these are all from women.
Really?
Yeah, these are all women.
Yeah,
questions.
sure. I mean, I think every man has.
Yeah, I think at some point
Right?
you have. Yeah.
I think period ain't ever stopped nothing but a sentence. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I'm gonna put the red towel down and we're gonna go to work and then we're gonna shower afterwards, right?
Yeah, I guess if you're one of those dudes who has a legit like phobia of like blood, like,
right?
You know.
Yeah. You can't watch gory movies, so you can't have sex on your period.
Yeah, it's weird.
You don't like Freddy Krueger.
I mean, it's not the best. I'll be honest. It's not. It's weird because while women are really, really like turned on at that point.
Really?
Yeah. I think women on their period for sure are very, very horny because they're full of hormones, right? Mm-hmm. But I think they're also very self-conscious about their period. And it's not the best sex in the sense of like, because the blood, it's a different viscosity. That's a word for some of you out there. Thick, yeah, the thickness of the fluid, you know what I mean? So it's not like it feels different.
So it's like not synthetic oil. It's like the old.
Yeah, it's not synthetic oil. It's like Crisco and shit.
It's like at the end of before you have to do the oil change.
Right,
it's all
right.
thick.
Right. So some of these are just kind of silly, you know. Let's see here. These are about you two. Why do you two talk so much shit? Osea, why are they hating? I don't think you guys are hating.
No, I don't know. And honestly, I think that it's a lot harder to talk shit like on like right now, right. Because I think talking shit is like an art form. I think that for me, at least, I'll read it before I fucking send it. See if it makes me chuckle.
Right.
And the trick is that like I have to think about like, have I said this to Eddie yet? And it's, if I could fucking put down a fucking paragraph, I'm gonna describe it. Like Eddie's lying down.
I think it's fucking hilarious, to be honest with you. I mean, it's funny. You know
like,
I mean?
It would be like Eddie's lying down on his tummy with his legs up, reading, you know, and it's like now the visuals there. Like you're thinking of him lying down on his tummy, and it's not his stomach, it's his tummy. So it's like certain little things. But no, I think it's fucking hilarious. There's a lot of shit that I won't like that Eddie posts about me because I feel like if I like it, I lose.
There's some good shit out there. Dude, people absolutely love the shit you guys talk to each other, man. Honestly, like people were saying, "Oh, I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this one. I can't wait for this one." And like,
I'm sorry.
That's cool.
Yeah, sorry to disappoint you guys.
Here's a funny one. This one's coming from my mother's comedy. We all know who that fool is. We're gonna say his name because he's anonymous. You know him. You just don't know who he is yet. I'll tell you who he is after offline. But Eddie, you know my mother's comedy. He sends in a message that says, "Does Eddie support the BLM movement, being that he's darker than 12:02 a.m.?" Hey, but for you guys don't know Eddie's dark as fuck, man. Eddie's my soul brother. I mean,
no way.
I don't think so. I think Alex is darker.
No,
Alex makes Eddie look albino.
Oh shit! Here we go.
He's like someone who would run a quickie mart.
Hey, both you and Alex, dude. Honestly, got a true story earlier. Somebody we know was like, why does the meme you made with the wrestlers? Who's the black guy from the meme?
Virgil.
He goes, why does Alex got to be Virgil? And I was like, that's not Alex, that's Eddie. They mistaked you, bro. Shit. They mistaked you, bro. Fuck. Virgil. And Virgil's a black wrestler, man.
He was he was what was he? He was like his butler.
I think his butler or something like that. Yeah. All right, here we go. These are so stupid. People ask, they're funny, but it's funny what people want to ask. What are your thoughts on sex on a first date?
You know, people do what they do. Doesn't make you a bad person or a better person.
Sure.
I mean, if there's consent on both sides, then whatever.
Yeah. So to me, yeah, I mean, dude, I don't judge anybody.
No.
And I've definitely, everyone, I think most people, adults have had sex on the first date. I don't give a shit what anyone says. They try to act like they're all fucking prim and proper.
I mean, would you say that that's like the end goal at some point? I mean,
is to have sex for sure. Yeah.
But I mean, if you get out the first night, then
sure. But I also believe that like there's some sort of something to like making somebody wait a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's old school in a sense. I'm not saying, I think there's a fine balance, right? Yeah. There's a fine balance between if you're going out on every date and you're getting smashed on every date, or you're smashing, if you're a dude and you're smashing, or if you're a woman and you're getting smashed on every first date, it's probably not the best idea unless you're not looking for a relationship. But if you're looking for a relationship, you might want to try to find somebody who can deal with you outside of the realm of just smashing your guts out.
Yeah.
Or you smashing guts out. You know what I mean? So I think my thoughts on it are, hey, do you? Absolutely. No judgment whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, if you're comfortable, then whatever.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But if that's the play every time, you might want to, and if that's the play every time and you're okay with not wanting something serious, keep doing it. But if you're looking for something more serious.
I was like, are you available tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, how about I take you on a date for like 15 minutes a night and tomorrow's technically our second date?
Yeah, right.
Hey. Nah, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I think it's personal, I guess, to your choice, whether you want to do it or not.
For sure. 100%.
Make sure there's consent.
Absolutely. Here's a funny one. Ask why men always ask, did you come? That's a funny one.
I mean,
she must fuck youngsters or dudes with little peepees.
Did she pee? Did she?
Is
it super sweaty? I mean, I guess that question could be asked in a pool.
I'm sure every guy has asked that before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend any guy, especially like youngsters, make a habit of asking that. Kind of makes you sound unsure of yourself,
Yeah, exactly. So what I was gonna say is, if you're asking that, then you obviously don't know. Like when a woman comes, you can tell when a woman's coming. Like their orgasms are so much better than ours. If you think about a woman's orgasm, dude, like our orgasm, like we're done. Women like are fucking shaking, they're screaming, they're throwing their arms around. They're like the fucking Exorcist. Like I wish I had that kind of orgasm, And they could do it again and again and again. Where we're like, we dump our fucking load, especially at our age. You dump a load, you're like, I needed like a 15-hour and a half break. I'll be right back. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go eat a cheeseburger.
Yeah, let me go have a drink real quick and some food real quick. I'll be right back. Like women can do it over and over again. And they look like the goddamn they're like the Exorcist when they're having orgasms. Like I'm so jealous of a woman
floating, head spinning.
I'm jealous. And then when you're done with them, you look at them on the bed and they're just shiny and sweaty and they're all fucking sprawled down. They're shaking like like if you had a woman orgasming. You know what I mean? So, I guess my point is,
you don't have to ask.
Let me tell this woman this, because it's a woman who asked this. Yeah. I think you need to stop screwing little dick dudes or young dudes who don't know what they're doing. Because I don't think I've asked that question since I was probably like 19, 20. Like once you know how to make a woman come, you know when a woman's coming. I don't have to ask that question. There's definitely not a reason to ask that question once you know what a woman looks like when she's coming. If her neck's spinning around like the Exorcist and she's throwing a guacamole, dude, she came, bro.
Fucking floating. You need to get a fucking priest in there to make sure.
Yes, you gotta bless her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If the priest walked in,
when you're a grown ass man, dude, you know when a woman's come. You know what I mean? So, Interesting question. I feel like Dr. Phil over here for whatever reason.
Hey, you answered the questions.
It is what it is. Gentlemen, dude, awesome conversation. This was just like a homie podcast, 3 homies talking, bullshitting about a bunch of different topics. Got the homie Eddie all the way from Denver, Colorado. We did this one remotely. Jaime is here in the studio. Really, really good times.
That day will come, but until then, I can't wait for the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
We'll have to get deeper into like, we just touched on some basic stuff, but we got to get deeper into conspiracy theory stuff, alien stuff. Me and Eddie could talk about that forever. I think what we'll have to do is have some, smoke some of the devil's lettuce, maybe, and get deep into it. But
jazz cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly. Jazz cigarettes. That's stupid ass.
That's what they used to call them way back when.
But no, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming out. These podcasts are cool because people get to learn a lot about all of us. You know what I mean? So one thing that people have been telling me that is really cool and I actually kind of resonate with, which is lately I had like a bunch of people coming to me saying, "Hey man, I've been listening to your podcast. I really get to learn a lot about you. Like your Instagram is not you." And I'm like, "No, of course it's not, dumbass. Yeah. It's a bunch of fucking memes. Like, the real me is a full-time single father. I own a couple of properties. I have an amazing career, a consulting business. Like, it's definitely not me. Like, if you judge me by my fucking Instagram, you're wrong. You're wrong 100%. So if you want to learn a lot about me or about these guys or any other guys that are part of my life, the podcast is where it's at. So
yeah. And I mean, ask, you can always message and ask a question. I mean,
right. 100%.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do this again. This is just the beginning.
I'm waiting for the after COVID.
This is just a rough draft.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the after COVID gathering with Alex, Eddie, live.
We got to get Black Alex on here. I got to get Black Alex and Danny De La Guerra on here to do a hunting podcast.
Oh, for sure.
I do that shit too, for sure. 100%.
Oh, yeah. And we get Tank.
We'll get Tanke and Robert on here.
Yeah, and see who can bench press more.
Both those fools are stupid. They're huge, man.
Or we can have them check IDs at the door.
They could be the Torta Whisper security. I got security, bro, already.
So I heard there's a Torta Whisper clothing line coming out soon.
There, we've talked about it. There are people have actually asked me for merch, and I'm definitely considering it. And there's some cool designs. Actually, me and Jaime are working on that. And keep your eyes peeled for that, because you guys, I've put a bunch of money and time into this. I think I got to make a little bit of money back. And the reason why is not to make money back, to be honest. I need to make a little bit of money to get the camera set up here. I want to do video. Yeah. So in the video I want to do, I can do it now, but I don't want to do it willy-nilly, and I don't want to do it like the cheap version of it. I want to do the right version of video. And so what that means is like multiple camera angles, auto switching camera angles. So when someone talks, the camera's on them. And to do that's a few $1,000s. So we're going to find a way to raise some money. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet.
Do a meet and greet.
Meet and greet would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll do a meet and greet. Charge fucking chicks just to come sniff you or something.
To smell my boxers? To smell the hole in my boxers?
The third hole.
The third hole in my boxers. No, you're stupid. But so what we're gonna figure out a way to raise some money, not for me to make money, but for me to take that money and dump it back into,
and to keep it going,
to keep the studio, to make the studio what I want it to be, which is
otherwise we're gonna have to go back to our radio DJ gigs and
exactly.
Radio Bronco 77.
Paching, paching, paching.
No, it's Radio Tiro. See, that's old school,
right? That's Radio Tiro, right?
No,
Radio Tiro, paching, paching, paching.
No, there's no money in radio.
No,
definitely not. So podcast is where it's at. Donate to Javi.
Yeah, we'll find a way to camera. If everyone donated $1, man, I could probably have enough money to get the cameras I need,
and then I get into college,
and get my kid into college, and do all the things I need to do. And the thing is, like, video on this would make it so much better. It would make it just 1,000,000 times better. So that's the thing I'm looking at figuring out. So
then we'd have to wear clean clothes,
right?
That we have to wear pants.
I never wear pants. I always wear like a nice shirt and no pants. I'm right now in gym shorts.
I know, that's why I got the picture of the underwear.
All full disclosure. I'm in gym shorts and a Pendleton. That's the cool thing about doing your own podcast.
So Eddie, when are you coming to California next?
Man, as soon as I can.
Yeah, well, next time you're here, fucker, because you were here recently.
Yeah,
you
I know.
let me
And he's like a delayed poster.
Funeral.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Sorry about that, man.
Asshole. Why are you talking shit, Javi?
I know, stupid asshole, Javi. But all right, man, we're gonna wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much. This was the first dry run. We kind of just pulled it together real quick.
Yeah.
We're gonna do another one though where we crack a lot of jokes and make a lot of people laugh. But I appreciate you guys for listening. Thank you so much.
Let us know.
Yeah, Eddie, thank you very much, sir.
You too, man.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And I'll talk shit to you guys later on, I guess.
I'll see you later on Instagram.
Probably on my drive home.
Sounds good to me.
Gentlemen, thanks, man. Peace out, everybody.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Take care, man. Have a good night.
Out.